All right, good evening, everybody. It's Thursday night. It's David and Nathaniel here to watch hopefully a lot of different divisions. We're starting in C1 with TJ, Brian, Michael Jackson, and David. Anything you're looking forward to seeing in this matchup?
Well, it's a C1 game, so I want to see chaos, and I want to see a lot of it.
Well, we might have the opportunity with some differing playstyles here. I know that Jackson in particular has a very call heavy style. You look at the stats, 64.3% call rate is insanely high, as well as a 14.6% reach rate means he's participating in over 75% of the hands, and he'll be starting off as the dealer in this game. On the right is Brian, who plays a very strong game, a 7 Don at this table, definitely the highest rated player, wins 28% of the hands and deals into only 8%, almost 20% gap between win and deal in. Brian doing very well this season in 4th place overall, Jackson in 6th place. Across the table will be TJ, who is doing okay this season. In the negatives right now, of course, you want to be in the positives in C1. If you're in the positives, there's always hope. And TJ not so far out from being in the top half of the division. And finally, on the left, Dojima is Michael. Michael also doing reasonably well this season in the positives, plus 2.3 at 16th place, hoping to increase that mark in this series. We've had a few discards come into play. Jackson as the dealer with a Dora, and what looks to be a Pinfu hand. What do you make of all the others?
Well, on the right here, those discards are kind of interesting. I'm actually curious what hand he's going for too right there. Is that possibly a Sancho Grade? I'm curious about how that hand goes. On the opposite, that's wow, that is a turn 6 three-sided Tenpai. Obviously Tanya Nomi, but that's a really fast Tenpai. On the left here, yeah, I can see another possible Pinfu here. Possible Tanya without one pin drop. I like the hand. But I'm not sure anyone can beat a three-sided weight already.
Yeah, well, that one so draw puts Michael into Ishanten, which does mean because he reached too soon, but you're right. Jackson will end up pushing away the 5 pin. Way too early for that hand to be Tenpai, but it was for 1,000 points. TJ will open up the scoring. That will send us to East 2, Brian's dealership.
I'm curious. Do you ever see that hand as a homies?
No, I not really. Unless I pair up an honor tile like right now, the floating tiles are too good in the central areas of the other suits. So especially now that we've drawn a connector to the 5, so it does feel like it's just going to be a standard hand. It'll be curious to see how long Brian holds on to this Dora, and maybe now that it's once cut, he's starting to think about cutting it. You're not losing anything really by holding it right now. You're not losing too much, I should say. So we'll probably continue to hold it for as long as he can. But when you start to lose some efficiency, it will probably come out. Same thing with TJ on the right. Has actually ended up giving up the East first over the Haku, and then a little bit of a backfire there. But still the hand looking quite strong for Ricci. Well, Ricci Nomi currently, but potentially strong weight. Across the way for Michael, it is also pretty close to Tenpai. Ooh, and that 8 pin is a great pull in. It was planning to drop 7 pin, 7 pin, but now has Itsu chance. So I was very curious to see what he's going to cut here. Goes with the Kanchan. What do you think there? Do you like the Kanchan? Do you like the 8-8 So, the 8-9-9 Mon? It's kind of a tricky choice here, huh?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't hate the content drop too much. I might drop two so first just for the possible improvement in weight, but I don't hate the content drop.
Yeah, an alternate is, cutting from a pair, say the 8 Mon, and leaving all of the blocks open, but you're worsening the Mon shape if you do that. So just committing to the shapes as they are right now. And Michael does draw that 6 So connector to the 8 So, and that means he still's got some flexibility in all of his blocks now. On the left, Jackson in the second row is getting close to Tenpai here, and upgrading the Pinzu, just no real super value outside of maybe a Pinfu in the future. But looking back at Brian's hand, there's 567 Sanchoku that is one tile away from completing.
So as dealer here, do you call
Chi.
open on, let's say, the 7 so?
Hmm, that's a little tricky because it's so much more valuable to stay closed. We are getting to the end of the second row though, and one player has opened, so maybe there's some incentive to try to match the speed and call open on the guaranteed Yaku if the 7 so does come out.
Yeah,
And
because it makes me think as dealer, you do
Chi.
like if you can get a Ricci here, that is worth a lot. But at the same time, how you don't want to lose to the guy on the left who has two open content looks like a fast Tanya.
yeah, I mean, you're not that worried about dealing in. It can only be 1,000 points or 2,000 if there's Sanchoku or something, because all the tour have come out. So it's a great opportunity to maximize your own value. But at the same time, if you don't win the hand, you lose the dealership. So especially as more of these 4 and 7 so get discarded, and even if the 2 mon comes out or the final pay comes out, uh,
Ich.
Brian may be more and more inclined to just open if he gets that opportunity.
Ricci on the right. I think that's Ricci Nomi. Would that be 40 fu no matter what?
Yeah, we already have 10. So Tsumo will bump it up by 2 fu to 12, and that will be 40. And Roan will also, I guess that would be, oh, sorry, it's already 12. Yeah, so no matter what, it'll be 40 or 50.
Okay, yeah. Do you have any tips in general for people who want to get better at fu counting?
Um, it's just a lot of practice. I mean, once you realize that it's mostly in the triplets, then it's not that bad, because most hands are just going to be 30 fu or 40 fu, and it really depends on how many close triplets you have. Of course, the Jiamen weights, the double-sided sequences, those aren't really worth anything in terms of fu. So if you get a sequence, it's almost always just no additional fu, unless it's a closed weight or an edge weight, penchan, kanchan. Those give you, but those only give you 2 fu, so
Pump.
those aren't even usually that relevant either. We will see Brian call the final pay into Tempai and will maintain the dealership here. 1,500 going to Brian and TJ. One Ricci stick, one Homba, and we'll take another look at Brian's hand. A very quick 9 so cut playing for pure efficiency. I was wondering if there's any thoughts of playing for Chanta here instead.
The problem about playing Chantai here is I see that he wants to keep the 2 pin because of the possible Sanchoku chance, I think, and East is doubly, so I think it was just like the problem of there's nothing worse to drop than the 9 so in that situation.
Yeah, you have your choice of things to greed for, and the 9 so just playing pure efficiency is hard to go wrong. But now we've started pairing up tiles. Paired up the Dora, paired up the 6mon. Is this a cheat toy? Is this a toy toy? What's happening with this hand?
I
Maybe,
hate to say it's Chitoy because I hate Chitoy, but Chitoy is the closest. If someone drops the 3 mon, you could call it if you just want to go for like the scare tactic. Because if I see Dora on the dealer, I'd be more inclined to play more safely.
yeah, let's see how many Tanya blocks we've got. One, two, three, four. So it would take a lot of effort to work our way to Tanya, but it could be done. At this point, Brian might do something like 9 pin or south south. No, it goes with a Kanchan.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess he wants to keep the pairs a bit longer, and doing this, you technically have a bit of a chance for a Hongitsu Toy Toy or Toy Toy if that's how you want to play this hand.
Yeah, you're still leaving yourself with all the blocks you need to complete the hand. And if you do end up on this 9 pin south Shaba, it would be quite strong, even if you have to give up a door to do so. In the meantime, we should take a look at the other hands. That's an interesting draw for TJ. I wonder if he'll try something like the 4 pin there. I really actually love the 4 pin cut to
Yeah.
hold the 579 sheep. It has, mathematically the same acceptance as a Diamond does, although
Chi.
sometimes it leaves you with a worse weight, but it gives you a chance at Junchan Sanchoku, which would just be insane.
Ich.
And I would say even an open Junchan Sanshoku with 3 hands for 3,900, I think that's worth it.
Yeah, we will see a Ricci though from Jackson on the left. Not able to open up this time. Actually got there closed for Ricci. Tanya, Pinfu, Dora. It's a great hand. 5-8 pin is a good weight as well. There are 3 tiles left in the wall. Yeah, and
Ooh.
Brian might be forced into Chitoy the way this is going.
I mean, with the reach on the board, I think you have to play Chitoy, right?
I think so. It's the safest way to dance around. Uh-oh, if the tune comes out, Michael might be in trouble. Because he also is looking at a Chanta Dora. Brian doesn't want to drop the Shompai tune just yet. So Red Dragon will stay in hand. And now another 8-pin drawn. It will come out.
Wrong.
Michael
Yeah.
playing for the value, but does deal into what to be 8,000 points? Yeah, no ura, so 8,000.
Ah, yes, and this just a reminder in general, Kiriage Mangan is on for the league.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. Normally that would be, what, 7,700? But
Yep.
with Kiriage Mangan, it rounds up the 430 hand. Fast call. This is what we expect to see from Jackson. Just aggressively into Ishanten. Atosuke waiting for the Haku, but there is a chance where he could turn this into Honitsu as well.
Home.
So even here, Tenpai on the 5-3 pin, but I think there are some mon draws that you would just discard the Pinzu and play for Honitsu.
As first place, I don't think that you need to, but I mean, if you have the situation, for example, like maybe 5 mon or something like that, I wouldn't hate dropping the pinza at all. Ooh, that's a fun draw.
Yeah, Jackson not dropping the 5 pin. A lot of times when you're Tenpai in this way, you'll drop the 5 pin to create a Suji trap. But it's so early, people aren't really defending against you, so they're not gonna really buy the Suji trap. You'd just be waiting on the 2 pin because it's more likely to come out from other hands. Period. And there it is. But maybe Jackson doesn't want to win this hand with just Haku only. We'll see if he can draw an improvement. In the meantime, our dealer is hoping to be able to use this door, perhaps Tonki on it later. However, we've got so many other pairs, it seems a little unlikely. If we can pair it up beforehand, that would definitely be a nice pickup. Michael on the right is playing pretty standard. Here's that 4 pin.
I mean, I don't think the dealer keeps that because it's a Furiten on the 2. Really? Interesting. Do you like that?
It's... I think I prefer... So I don't like dropping all the tiles in one suit, but in this instance, I think you're right with the 2 pin, and also it's unlikely we'll draw back into that side of it with the number of 2 pins that have been cut. It will come out anyway, we'll deal in, so no difference in the result of the hand, and Jackson will extend the lead by a small margin. We will get sent to East 4. Michael as dealer in East 4 has the Hotspur, has a Dora, seems like a call and go to me. Jackson on the right with pretty excellent shapes. Okay, maybe not great shapes, but very close to Tenpai. Actually does end up cutting the Dora early, anticipating perhaps another fast call and go hand.
Chi.
Leave a call.
Atasuke.
Is this the same play as the last one, right? Looking for the Haku.
Yeah, because I'm curious. I might have asked you this before. How much do you like Atasuke, and when do you think is a good idea to Atasuke?
I don't mind Atosuke. I know some people just don't like to do it. There's the chance that you end up mochi mochi with your honor tile and never get the chance to win. But I think most of the times it's fine. And even if people realize you're Atosuke, a lot of times they're just greedy for their own hand and will say, "Oh, you're not Tenpai yet. I'll drop it anyway." And then you get to call it a Tenpai and can win the hand again. A lot of times it will work, and I don't even mind doing it in a situation like this where I'm in the lead, because if someone does Ricci, well, I've got a pair of dragons to discard. I can probably dance around safely, maybe turn it into a Tanya later. So I especially like to do it if I can fake, a normal hand like a Tanya, and then catch people off guard with the dragon.
Each.
We've had a lot of action while I was talking, though. Brian was considering a Chitoy, but ended up drawing into Ricci, potential Ipeko, 6-9 Mon. And also Jackson did get the Haku, so waiting on the 4-so.
Ooh, that puts the dealer into an interesting tempai, Tanki tempai.
Yeah, Doritanki, and with all this extra fu as well, it's gonna be 7,700 on a win. Oh, but this is multi-sided. Decides dropping Dora against Ricci, not a good idea. Brian didn't need it though, and that means he will deal directly into 77 for Michael, right back into the swing of things, and they'll swap places. It is Michael who will jump to third place and approach a positive scoreline.
This is one of the cases where Atozake really rewarded him very well.
Yeah, Michael hoped to continue this now with a pair of East. That's double Yakuhai.
Chi.
Will Atozke again. And Jackson might consider to do the same thing here, though. Let's the 1-so pass. I do like this personally. What about you?
Yeah, this hand, I don't think you have to Atozake yet because you have a Chi-Toy chance. Technically, there's also the Toy chance too, so I don't think you have to do a Desperate Chi yet.
Yeah, Jackson, of course, with that very high call percentage, but we're seeing some selection in what he chooses to call. There's the north call from Michael, of course. That's going to set off some alarm bells to the rest of the table. Why do you need the north? What possible Yaku could you have? This is one of those spots where if the 7-pin comes out from the left, I would prefer to chi with the 6 and the 7 to make it seem like my Yaku could just be Sanchoku.
Yeah, because it doesn't really look like a Hongisa after you drop the 1 and 5, so.
Right. Well, East comes out anyway, and like I was saying, you know, people recognize that it's a little suspicious, but when you have to play for your own hand, you just have to drop it sometimes. And out it comes, Ishanten now for Michael with double East currently.
I love this table. It seems like a Pongkat field.
Well, it seems like the Pongcats are winning. It is Jackson opening up with the 8-pin, hoping to see a 7-pin soon, but Michael finds Tempai.
How much are you gonna bet that white dragon's gonna be called and he's gonna go far in the Tanki?
Yeah, if it comes out, I think he will call it. Uh-oh. TJ will hold on to that 7-pin. You could even consider just cutting the 6-pin or 5-pin there, planning on calling the Haku and waiting on Shuntanki for Honitsu.
That would work.
We were saying it's not Honitsu, right? But, you know, there is a path.
Long.
The 7 comes out.
2,000 move along.
Yeah, will be that 2,900 plus a homeba will be 32 for Michael, who will take over in second place and now challenge Jackson for first.
Ooh, this is a very iffy hand. I see 3, 4, 5, 6 terminals, but I don't see really many shapes in the dealer's hand.
Yeah, it definitely feels like one that you're just going to be playing. Well, it looks like Michael has a different strategy than the one I was thinking about. It's the hold all the honor tiles and play like 4 blocks and anticipate folding. But if you happen to draw perfectly, you might be able to fight.
Ooh, interesting. How often do you see a starting hand and you think I should just fold this hand?
Well, personally, I think I do it a lot more than most other people do. But this playstyle, I actually see Edwin, league founder, uses this on occasion. It's quite entertaining to see because somehow he magically wins the hands, even though it looks like he's nowhere close to it. And look at where Michael is now, Dion Shanten, and you wouldn't expect to have gotten there with the first few cuts. But it is Brian who does get there first, and ooh, Ricci's on the door. That allows Michael to push his own, and Jackson will drop the third. So the Ricci can't be that valuable, right? It is just Ricci Pinfu. Waiting 3-6 pin, there are 4 in the wall.
I mean, as last place, it's not the most ideal thing, but I think because I was still East 4,
Tsumo.
you just gotta take that Ricci, right?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, maybe if you're getting really greedy, you could instead of dropping the east there, you could cut say one pin, and then when you draw that 6 pin, instead of getting a Tsumo, you are gonna Richi on the east Tanki for Richi Dora 2. But a lot of the times, if you Tsumo the 6 pin there, you're getting the same value as it would have been otherwise. 52 for the Richi Tsumo Pinfu, maybe an Uda, and Richi Dora 2 is also 52. So it seems to make a lot of sense. Just take the points where you can get them, and you're not so far off that you can't fight for first, even though it's Southwind now.
Well, speaking of points, dealer, if he can get the East Pong, that's worth a lot.
Yeah, this is also going to be interesting. Oh, just keep drawing those. This is going to be an incredible Ricci if Jackson can get there close, because imagine discarding the 6 pin, waiting Shabo 9 pin east. Even if the east doesn't come out, the 9 pin almost certainly will, and that will be another monster hand, another 7,700. And that's before we look at the Uda. Oh, interesting choice here. What do you do?
I think I have to drop the 9 just because it's Sanchok.
Yeah, I love Sanchoku, but I'm dreaming. I'm drooling over that Shabo 8. Oh, but you just draw the
Each.
7 pin. And we'll slam a Ricci for Ricci Dora 2 with potential Sanchoku on the 5-mon. There are 2 5-mons in the wall. Those are the only remaining tiles for this weight. But look at Michael on the left. He's got nothing in his hand connecting to those tiles. If he tries to push, those will be dealing in, and they'll be dealing into a lot.
Yeah, no, especially, I mean, obviously, usually the 8-mon would go first, but the 5-mon comes out. That is a game changer.
Now, notably, Brian also found Tenpai was not willing to fight this dealer Ricci with the Kanchan. There's the East, but that comes out safely. That may make the table think that it's not so bad. There's the 5 that's not going to deal in because there's no Yaku.
Would you have Ricci that? Ricci no Mi?
No, I'm too scared to Ricci that.
Wrong.
And Michael drops the 8 pin finally as he found Tempai for Chitoi. And that will be the Uda as well. 12,000 points to Jackson, and he's got first place in the bag as long as he can, stick the landing here. Still only South 1, but at 48,000 points, the only player for 30,000. Jackson, what a great hand.
That is great, but I will say going from 30k to 18k because of a dealer Mangan, that hurts a lot.
Oh, absolutely. Michael,
Home.
benefited with a door bomb of his own earlier,
Boom.
but now on the back foot here. We'll see if he can make a comeback. Still has a whole dealership left. So he's not afraid to open up for just Haku only here and try to just claw back a few points for starters. See if he can build something bigger later. Ishanten now on the left.
Ooh, Jackson, I'm guessing with that 4-pin drop, he's trying to commit to Chanta.
Yeah, it makes sense, especially because the 1 pin is the Dora. Of course, the 4 pin is an excellent floater, potentially better than this 8-mon. But we know Jackson likes to call, and Chanta is a callable hand.
Chi.
Richinomi, or Richidora 1, is not a callable hand, so maybe that biases his play a little bit. Ishan Tendo for Jackson, and
Wrong.
Brian will end up dealing into Michael's 1,000 points. And that will, again, tighten things up moving into South 2, Brian's second dealership.
Seems like hand-wise dealer. I don't hate it. I'm curious how much the dealer tries to think of something like Itsu or maybe even Sanshoku with his hand. Though I feel like it's gonna be like a normal do whatever the game gives you. On the right here, oh that's a triplet of Tuso there. But also I'm wondering, could this be a 789 Sanshoku? Maybe not anymore.
6 months says? No.
Opposite here, I see a possible Pinfu, maybe even Tanyao. As last place, I'm curious how much you want to call open for a Tanyao, but if you can get Tanyao Pinfu, I'm very happy. And on the left here, that's a lot of foo, is what I'll say.
Yeah, no value, but a ton of food. And if you could draw some more triplets, there might be Sananko. That is actually Sananko Ishanten. If you can find another 6-pin or 8-pin, there is one of each in the wall.
I mean, do you reach a Sananko?
No, and actually Suanko Ishanten now.
Also Chito Ishanten.
You're right. I, so yeah, you draw the 9-pin. What do you do? You can cut 9 so and then west and whatever you draw. Oh, con? That's a terminal
Con.
con. That's a lot of foo. A lot
Con.
more foo than what you already had.
Okay, well, I mean, with that kind, I think you have to call open for Toy Toy, right?
I think so, yeah. Toy Toy with a whole extra Han. Because keep in mind, this terminal con, closed con,
봄,
is 32 foo. And we will see Jackson open up here Tempai for Toy Toy. We're hoping for more, though.
I'm hoping for the West to come out because I think I think you con the West, right?
Well, you do give up the Sun Anko chance if you con it, but I would love to see it anyway.
Oh, yeah, that is true. But I do want to see the con.
I do, yeah, because okay, 6-pin's not viable. Oh, maybe Sankansu can't happen. That's unfortunate because 6-pin is already drawn. There is one 6-0 in the wall, one 8-pin.
So I'm curious, if you're everyone else in the board, what do you think of that?
It almost feels like it has to be Toy Toy or Atosuke for something, but then you start to count the tiles. It's not North. It's not Hatsu. Haku is once cut. Shun is twice cut. So it could be Haku or Toy Toy. That's like the best options here, and it's not Haku. We're about to find that out. So it's got to be Toy Toy.
Yeah, I'm just seeing how the two people here, they don't want to drop south.
Yeah, and Brian really wants the South to help complete his hand.
봄,
He has to think, okay, Hatsu's twice cut. That should be my save tile later. 6-mon was Shonpai, so a little bit risky against what could be a Toy Toy.
리치,
Brian's not a believer that this is ready yet. Michael is ready though. Richie Tanyao Pinshu with the Dora and 2 indicators is super strong, waiting 4-7. So 3 tiles in the wall.
리치,
Brian happy to have that Hatsu as a safe tile. We'll see a chase. Waiting 3-6 so. And Jackson's giving it up. He says, I can't push this 4-pin. West, west, west is the play. Brian has 2 so, 1 so as well. So Brian can still continue to fight here. Needs to find a 4-pin or 8-pin. One mon is it's a Dora. So maybe drop the 8-pins then.
Yeah, I would think 8-pin is relatively safe because 5-pin causes Suji.
It's difficult for the 4-pins to deal as well, but those are Dora, so. Oh, the 3 comes out.
Oh,
TJ will steal this one away with Richie Pin for Dora. And misses on the Ura. That will put him over 30,000. So Jackson not alone over that mark, and will be TJ with the dealership here.
for TJ, this is great, but for last place Michael, that hurts a lot, doesn't it?
No, yeah, that was absolutely a wonderful opportunity. That was a Mongon hand with chances at more. Unless the 7 so was drawn, Ura would have also missed there as we get the quick freeze fix. But I mean, you can't do anything but put yourself in position to win. And if you get chased and lose the coin flip, oh well, there's nothing you can do about it. You did what you could. And from here, Michael still has a dealership remaining, so not out of it yet. He'll try to get as many points as he can beforehand, or at least to make sure he doesn't lose more points. He would benefit from, say, Brian dealing in and dropping back down to make an easier target. Looking around. I haven't quite figured out whose hand I like the best. They all look a little bit above average at this point. I guess TJ
Well,
being Ishanten is a big plus.
on the left here, that looks like a Hongich Greed if I've seen one.
It does seem to be moving in that direction. That would be the Dora suit as well.
On the opposite there, a Tumon drop. Is Tumon the best drop you think there? I'm curious.
I don't think so. I think 7-pin or 5-pin is a little bit better. We're just dropping. We have too many pairs, right? So we have to drop one of them. If you drop something like the say the 7-pin, you can draw an Anko in the 2-mon and the 5-pin, but you also get the 6-pin acceptance into Tempai. Whereas this way, the 6-pin doesn't give you Tempai. You just get the Anko draws. Brian still not being able to
Boom.
commit to. Okay, that's an aggressive call. That might be a signal that we're moving in that direction you predicted. Oh, but that gives the 6 Odora to TJ, and this is a pretty nice hand. Ricci pin Fudora as healer.
Yep. Now the question is how much are people going to push against this?
They probably don't want to, but here's the issue. The cheapest suit against TJ is the Manzu.
That is true.
Someone might get baited into pushing a 4-mon, especially if the 5s start to come out.
How much can you trust cheap suits and Ricci's?
Well, that's a little tricky. I mean, I don't know if I have a definitive answer there. There are some players that I really don't trust the cheap suit. Because they love to wait on sneaky waits. I'm thinking of like a Max or a PO or an Edwin even. Edwin loves to intentionally choose the slightly worse weight that looks a lot safer to his pond. Many other players as well. In this case, Sozu looks expensive, but also, Brian looks like he's going for a Chinitsu, so he's probably holding a lot of So tiles. And the upper Pinzu have started to clear. So it's basically all the Sozu and the 4-7 Suji and the Manzu hasn't cleared yet. And there's the 7. It'll be a Tsumo 4 TJ. And this, if it flips an Ura, would be monstrous. No Ura, that's already very good. And that will put TJ in striking range for first.
Ooh, and this hand with 2 Dora, that's a 2 Dora and a white dragon. That sounds like a great hand to get first place.
Yeah, callable and valuable recipe for success for TJ. On the right, that hand has a lot of work to go before it can be won. And one of the tiles that will probably need to come out is that white dragon. So we might see TJ with a clear path to victory here. Just need to find one more block in his hand. There's the Haku.
Boom.
So maybe 9-pin. Holding the 8-pin as the pair and all the remaining tiles as the floater. Goes to the 3-mon instead. Allowing for the 7. I guess we already have 7-pin acceptance, but a more clean 7-pin acceptance. Yeah, goes the 9-pin now. Across the way, Jackson with a door in hand. Probably the closest to being able to fight here. Oh, 7-mon draw. Very interesting. We'd prefer a diamond shape here, but this could get fancy. It allows us to, we have the ability to call quite a lot of pawns.
Yeah, I mean, like if you call a Dorapong here, obviously everyone's going to be on alarm, but
Oh, that's not the right tile.
that's the most awkward tile.
Oh, TJ's
Ooh.
going for it all. He says, Hakudor 2, that's not enough for me. I need Toy Toy. I need my guaranteed Mongon with Hanuman chance.
Yikes, that's a quite greedy move if I had to say so for myself, but it does make sure that his 6-0 almost never comes out.
Yeah, I mean, if he had cut a different direction, there was a chance that would have come out slightly more efficient is to cut the 8 so than the 7. But that means that there are a lot of draws where he'd be cutting the 6 right now and dealing in. So here's that
7
pawn. Oh, doesn't call pawn. Doesn't like the 6 pawn.
I think I call that every day. What about you?
Oh, I think I have enough value to justify it for sure. And passes up
Really?
on that call as well, yet just doesn't want to fight here. TJ says, I have enough points. I'm not going to deal into fourth.
Like that call is a Jobman weight though.
Yeah, might be regretting it as all these deal in tiles are starting to come out.
Oh my gosh, this is so sad. As dealer, I want to win this hand. I want this hand. Oh my gosh.
Also sad is this incredible
1
multi-sided way for Jackson that cannot win because there's no Yaku. And now a reach from Brian, and TJ's in all sorts of trouble here as dealer. Can he avoid the deal in now? 8 pin is a great start. Does dodge the worst of it. Jackson, that's technically a winning tile, but there's no Yaku once again, so he can drop something like the 1 pin or a safer 3, 1 mon, I should say. And out it goes. There are still some draws for Jackson that will win the hand. Meantime, Brian is waiting on what?
1
Dora Tonki for Chitoy.
I mean, against the door, reach on the board, you never know when that 5 will come out, right?
That's true. There is one in the wall. No, there's none in the wall. They're all held. So Brian is drawing dead. Someone would have to discard it. I don't think anyone wants to drop it. Jackson can now win on the 4. This 9 would deal into Michael, who is probably just amazed that the 9 so hasn't come out yet.
I mean, yeah, I guess it's near the door. It's the door, so
Ooh.
I guess. Oh,
Boom.
Jackson found the switch to the 3-6, so just in time for Brian to discard it. And in terms of outcomes that are acceptable to Michael, that's one of them. It's Brian losing a few more points, and now it's an easier target for Michael to catch up. And this is quite an interesting high by Ha.
what do you think? What's your first thought of this hand?
Chitoy? I know some people would look at this and instantly say toy toy, but I have 1 pin, 1 so, Haku, so easy to call. All the tune are out, so Dice on Gun no longer a possibility.
Because yes, I see Chitoy, but I want to go for more than Chitoy. Like this seems like kind of like yes, Chitoy seems like what the game is telling you, but at the same time, it feels like if the perfect draws, maybe if some good draws come out, I feel like this could be a monster hand.
Yeah, what could be more valuable than Chitoy, though? Oh, there goes the
Boom.
1 so instapon for Michael, who's planning to at least Atosge for starters, but Toy Toy is a likely finishing point.
Probably Toy
Boom.
Toy or a general just Doratanki is what I'm thinking.
There is Ishan 10 on the right for potential Richitanya. Across the way, that is 2 away from Tenpai there with no Dora. Maybe a Tanyo. Tanyo's not really possible here, so out goes the 8 so. TJ working towards Tenpai as well. Dianshan 10.
I don't really understand that 7-mon discard there.
Yeah, we do lose some efficiency. We're holding the south. What are we holding the south for? Let's see. It's once cut, so maybe just a safe tile. You do lose a lot of draws, though, the 5 and the 8 mon in particular. And now we've drawn the 7, but we're actually Huriten on the 8, so hopefully we don't get into trouble with this.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I was like, did you know that he's in footy 10?
Yeah, a little concerning is the fact that the 8 so is 3 times cut now. So you're only looking at 5 tiles to complete the shape. It's not always so bad to be in this Huriten situation when you have a lot of tiles to get out of it. But with so many of the 8s gone, it's really unlikely that you're adding very much by holding the 7. You add 1 extra tile of acceptance. We do have Tenpai on the right for Jackson, though. It's a Tanya that would end the game in first place. Waiting 3-6 so, it seems very likely to win. TJ's got that loose 6 so in hand. Probably wouldn't mind dealing it in so much because it would confirm a positive second place. Brian as well. A couple of three-sos that might come out.
I'm just surprised how no one has dealt in yet, because I feel like that both really not keeping the 7 so there.
And drawing the 6 there for Michael means that he could play for Toy Toy now and avoid the deal in that way. Everyone, I see Brian and TJ both very concerned about the 9 mon. They're looking around at the board and wondering why there haven't been any discarded, especially when Michael appears to have the chance at a Toy Toy. It's very concerning. Brian really wants to call this for a chance at K10 here, but gives it up, says it's not worth it here.
I'm more amazed that no one has dealt into this, because I feel like every turn, like there's at least a chance to deal in.
Oh, yeah,
Go.
that'll do it.
Oh,
One pin safer to Tanya, but this deal in for Michael will end the game, and it will be Jackson, a huge victory, plus 37.6, finishing with over 50,000 points. TJ, a very respectable result, though, plus 14.1. Brian will take the negative 16, and Michael the minus 35. And we will await a standings update, anticipating it being a pretty close battle between Brian and Jackson once that comes in. And in fact, Jackson does overtake.
I personally I cannot believe a 64% call rate being this good. Do you know anyone else who in the league or like in general has such a high call rate and does really well?
Ada is a name that comes to mind. I think that I know there's a very high participation rate, but I don't know if I think it's a combination of just calls reaches, just like participates in every hand, and a lot of calling too. I know at times, Edwin B1 has had high call rates. I think it's a little bit more balanced this season though. Aaron in A1, relatively high call rate, but I don't think it's as high as 60%, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, because I really do love how like if you look at the statistics here, like the red colors are all over the place, and there is some correlation on the top, but you can see some people have like really good deal rates, but not that high. Some people have really good win rates, but not that high, and vice versa. Like I love these statistics.
Yeah, everyone's who's doing well is kind of getting there in slightly different ways. One pretty consistent feature though is relatively strong defense. I mean, out of the top 6 players, there's only one player who has over a 14% deal in, and making up for it by just winning a lot of hands. So definitely a lot of ways to play mahjong. That's one of the wonderful things about the game, and looking forward to seeing some of these players advancing up the rankings into B3, B2, and beyond. Okay, looks like this table is having a little bit of a break before their next game, so perhaps we'll switch gears to another one that has started already. Speaking of B3, there is a game in progress, so I'm gonna take just a second to set up for that one. Can swap over. I don't know if you'll have what division are you in, David?
Ah, yes. I happen to be in a division called B3.
Oh, wow, what do you know? So you will probably be familiar with some of these names. We got the game in, so let me swap over. There will be a little bit of lag here as the names change. I recognize our current dealer, though. That is Tomas.
Well, I mean, hand-wise, dealer. I mean, if the dealer can get the last east, which is on the right, or not last, but the east, which is on the right now, that's a pretty good hand there. I'm curious when that 5 Dora goes. On the right here, Seems like a call and go 1000 hand. Opposite, uh, possible. That's a lot of 1, 2, 3. Didn't want to take the Chitoy ride. Maybe a normal, just Pinfu style. Sanchok is a bit difficult. Yeah, I think that's normal with Pinfu. At some point, might drop the South South if he wants Tanya instead. And on the left here, kind of looks like just Richi Nomi. Yeah, Richi Nomi. Yeah, it's good shapes, but because of the triplets, I think that's usually Richi Nomi.
All right, we'll see if these predictions come true.
홈,
Just looking at the standings here, I see Michael is the closest to the positive zone. Adam trailing behind, hoping to avoid demotion here, and Tomas in the demotion zone. Actually, a little bit of a surprise to see him there. Seems to be having somewhat of an unfortunate season so far, but hoping to make up for it in this couple of games. Looks like it's Michael W. who is definitely has the significant advantage in this game.
That's a fun con for Tempai. Ooh, doesn't take Tempai. Interesting. That's a interesting move. Would you take Tempai there, or would you try to break it up?
I do strongly dislike having a central Shaba weight, the 5566, but I don't know if I could pass up Tempai. Might be rewarded for this though, as well. I guess not rewarded because the 6 mon immediately came out, but on the other hand, can draw into Adora 5 so now. And there's a decent chance that it was a bit of a defensive maneuver given that the dealer has called for double East. If you deal into double East Dora and even Dora 2, that will be a significant hit of 5,800 or 12,000 points. And so maybe just not liking the upper Sozu discards. It will be Michael W. picking up the points here. Tanya Dora 1, over 50,000 points now. Have you gotten the chance to play any of these players so far in the season?
So I'm not gonna be able to remember from the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure I've played against Adam here.
Okay. Yeah, we'll take a look at Adam as the dealer now in East 4. See what kind of a hand gets built. It looks like it currently looks like a Richinomi, right?
Yeah, usually Richinomi by its dealer, I guess. I mean, you're not sad about Richinomi, I guess, if as long as the shapes come in, that is.
The occult player in me says there's 2 1s and 2 9s in the hand, so it's obviously Chuden.
That's one. That's one way to think of it. I will say, Hongi is not impossible now with that specific draw.
Yeah, one of the 1-Sos cut, 9-So similarly discarded. So a little bit tricky to pull that together. Actually, Adam chooses to pass the first Haku. Would you also pass?
I think I have to call everything here because as dealer, like Ricci is not worth more than not really worth that more than just a 1,000 hand with a possible chance of a Hongi, or you can get rewarded by not calling.
Okay, turns out not calling was the play. I am in agreement. I think I would have called, but it seems we were both wrong. And now, with the confirmed triplet in hand, Perry will start to open up, and that is 12 Fu currently. Yishanta now.
You know, every once in a while, I feel like whenever I try to nerd out, the game's like, yeah, just shut up, just get. They did the right choice for some reason. Don't talk.
Yeah, sometimes the move that seems like the standard play just is not correct. And interesting draw there from Michael. Looks like you could shift to Tanya with North, and he will indeed make that play. And we'll probably get some opportunities to see if Michael chooses to open up here for just 2,000 points, or if he also wants to stay closed for as long as possible.
With that hand, I think the standard move is usually maybe you call open with 3 mon, maybe.
Yeah, also, though, positionally speaking, since Michael's such a big lead, he might be willing to just call any 4-pin or 7-pin and just take a Tempai and hope to end the dealership. And now the 3-pin came out, so a little bit harder to complete that hand. Perry will take
Boom.
the win here. 140 for 2,000 points. Climbing up into third place and now challenging for second. Feels like this high pie is probably going to stay closed.
That's what you would usually think. Have you ever tried a hand that does not look like a Tanya at all and forcing like 3 or 4 calls to forcing it into Tanya?
Only if I have like in a ladder match and I've got a pair of Dora 5s with one of them being an Akka. It's like, all right, this doesn't look like Tanya, but I can get there. And then, I see like a chi that fills a 6-8 shape or a 2-3 shape. I'm like, yes, this is the signal I needed. It's going to be Tanya now. Unfortunately, there's no such Dora bomb in this hand.
But yeah, I mean, especially with that one mantra, probably not Tanya, which is a bit sad. But hey, maybe Itsu can come out. That's an interesting hand by itself.
Yeah, this hand is progressing reasonably well. Michael on the right also now in Ishantan. Across the way, Dylan is approaching Tepai as well, but Michael's going to get there first. 6-9 mon wait for Richinomi. And I think we haven't mentioned this yet, but I'm pretty sure across the way, Dylan is acting as a substitute player this season. So, joined the league after it had already started, and a need became available for a player to take over. And Dylan stepped in, said, I will fill the spot. So thank you very much, Dylan. I hope you're enjoying the league so far. And good luck in the next season as well.
Just curious, what do you think of which got substitute coming into your game? Are you more or less afraid of them in general?
I actually don't really think about it too much. I just imagine it's a normal player, unless I know the player personally. There goes the Naimon, and it will be Richinomi for Michael, who is honestly completely happy with winning the hand. Just trying to think back to see if I've had any substitute players in my games. I don't think I have personally, but yeah, I just imagine it's any other player, especially if you're in the lower divisions. There's so much variance in the level of experience that the players have who are coming into the league that you really have no idea. Again, unless you know the player specifically, you really have no idea what to expect. So there's no reason to be more afraid of a substitute player than you would any other player, I think.
Aha. So for this, I mean, for the current hand, I will say the dealer it just seems like a snowball hand. Just you win another 1,500 and you just win more and more.
Yeah, Michael kind of on that steamroll path. Ooh, that's an awkward draw. Picked the wrong Kanchan apparently, but no, that's okay. We were still Ishanten. We're totally fine with this. I'm very excited about Dylan's hand on the right, though. This has a chance to be 789 Sanchoku, and anytime there's a Sanchoku, I get happy. Ooh, could you even call here and does take it?
Yeah, I think to confirm second place, that's a pretty fine move. What do you think?
Yeah, it's also only South 1, so just taking some points, ending the dealership of the guy who's been on a tear, and being a little bit farther ahead in the standings seems reasonable to me. I mean, obviously, there's a lot more value to be had in staying closed, but I don't mind this at all.
What I'm wondering is, do you ever try to greed that hand into a Junchan?
I was thinking about that as well, but in order to do that, you'd have to break Tempai. So I think that's maybe a bit too far for me.
I mean, I can see the world where you get another one pin, you change to Shampong, and you get the second or third one, so and change that into a very perfect draw, Junchan.
Okay, no, with that direct path, I agree. I think that I would take that approach as well. But only with the one pin draw first, and then the 1-so or 3-so afterwards.
So what happens if you get the one so first?
No, I'll just take my Tempai. And that'll be sad
yes.
when I draw the one pin later.
Especially with the dealer with 3 calls, I think, yeah, you gotta take any tempai.
Yeah, Michael's taken an interesting route to this tempai, but he got there and it has an excellent weight as well. 6-9 pin has 4 tiles in the wall, and Perry, it just feels like he's destined to deal in, just collecting all of these winning tiles, but so far has been managing to avoid this very well. Also has some honor tiles that perhaps he can escape trouble with. Or just continue to draw the deal-in tiles and you don't have to worry about it. There's the 5. That's going to deal into Ipeko. This random Tonki. Tomas, I'm sure, was waiting to upgrade to a better shape, but the 5 still came out first.
He could no. He could have reached for a Richie Pimfu Ipeko there if he dropped the triplet.
Oh, you're right. He valued the Tonki there. I wonder if there's a Hootie 10. I didn't look at the discards.
No, his Sojo, that was like, he didn't have a single Sojo in his discard.
Interesting. Maybe he was scared of dropping the triplet. I don't remember what it was.
2 pin.
2 pin. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anything particularly that dangerous about the 2 pin, but again, we are looking from our perspective, not necessarily from his. Ended up getting the win though, so up to 20,000 points. It's a very tight race here for second place. But yeah, good spot on that. Perry will go Atosuke, looking for the Haku. What is it with players in Atosuke on the Haku specifically today?
I just love how many Atosukes I've seen today. It's literally getting to the point I'm wondering, is Atosuke actually a pretty good play?
I mean, isn't it? It depends. I mean, if you ever read that your opponents like to hold honor tiles longer than is maybe efficient to do so, Atosuke gets a little bit worse, I think. But most of the time, I think it's usually not that bad. This is a very interesting draw because it allows you to use the Dora as a Jamban instead of as a Tonki later. And it looks like Perry will actually just commit this way. Seems it should be a little bit more likely to win, but you might lose out a little bit of value. Of course, if you pair up the Dora later, you can always shift to a somewhat awkward Shabo.
Speaking of on the left here, I'm seeing a 5-6-7 Sanchoku. What do you think?
Oh, of course. Always Sanchoku. Every hand is Sanchoku.
Man, ooh, drops the 1-mon. Interesting. That's a Tanya read, isn't it?
Oh yeah, seems like it. I'm not. Okay, 1-mon is none cut. 8-so is twice cut. So perhaps the saw that the hand was moving towards a Shabo weight and didn't like the fact that half of it was dead, and so found the path to Tanya. And wow, this is actually looking like a really strong hand now. Could be a very tricky weight in the future. However, Adam has now completed the Mon shape, so now Tempai waiting for that Haku. Fortunately for him, he cannot draw the 6-0, so he will never be Furiten here.
And I'm more curious that he never took Tempai. Both of those two calls 7-mon and 8-pin would both give him a Tanya Tempai. As first place, do you think he has the other intentions? Because personally, I would think that you usually take the Tempai for the fast 1000.
Yeah, I'm totally fine taking Tempai for 1000 or 2000 if the Sanchoku ends up coming in. But I also think that Michael probably looks at this hand and says, this is worth way more than 1000 points. And we'll see if it gets punished a little bit as we have a Ricci now from Tomas. Ricci Pinfu waiting 3-6, so Ricci Pinfu Dora even, so could be a bit of a punish if Michael's forced to fold. And he's backing out here. I mean, he's got plenty of points to play with, so he doesn't have to fight. Oh, there's a 3-so. And Dylan does avoid it for now.
Ooh, that Atsuke. Ooh, still pushing the 6-mon. Do you have the guts to drop 6-mon there?
I struggle to drop that. I'm counting the 4s. 1, 2, 3. I can only see 3. There's a chance that he has the final Dora. Yeah, I am a little bit worried about that 6. But the push is good. It does pass, and there are 2 Haku in the wall. If we could just find one.
Where are the Haku?
There's only one draw left. It would have to be Hote. I know there's just both dead wall. That is really unfortunate for Perry, or for Adam. I guess we finally see an example of where Atsuke just doesn't win. But only because the wall ate them.
How often are you afraid that the wall ate up all your weights?
I usually don't worry that will happen. I do notice in review that when I'm having a bad game, typically it's because the wall did eat my weights.
And whenever you think of wall eating your weights, don't you always think of like the kokushi hands that are always like tenpai, but the wall just eats up 2 or 3 of the weights?
We've seen a couple hands where the wall just aggressively refused to let anyone win. I can recall a couple seasons ago there was a hand where 3 people are tenpai, and there are like 7 winning tiles in the dead wall. It was incredibly sad for everyone involved because there were some monster hands. Like everyone had a Mungun, and just all the tiles were in the dead wall.
That's oh gosh, that's such a sad feeling. Like you think you have like a 7 tile way, you think this is one of the best ways in the world. Nope, wall just says no.
Tomaslo probably feeling pretty pleased with this, the way this hand has progressed. Working towards a Pinfu with Dora, definitely an awesome hand to have as dealer. On the right, that's progressing to be a Tanya Ishanten. And across the way, Michael might be able to confirm a Tanya as well. That is also technically
Each.
Ishanten, and wow, parry. That's Adam can take the Shabo 3-on 3-pin or the Kanchan. Which way do you prefer?
G.
Personally, I like the Shabo just because I feel like it's a bit easier to trap people. Just because if you drop the 5-mon here, I think it's a bit more likely someone drops the 3-mon than if you drop the 3-mon if someone was to drop
No.
the 4-mon. Rip
Oh
that.
my goodness, that's a Sanchoku. I didn't even see that Michael called for Tempai, but oh, that's really unlucky for Adam. But great play by Michael, managing to pull out a Yaku out of nowhere, and we're going to South 4. Michael's been in absolute control this entire game. If anyone wins a Mungan, unless there's a Ricci stick donation by somebody, they will not even make it over 30,000. So very secure is Michael in getting the +5 Uma points, unless that Mungan is won by the dealer. And this is the Mungan hand. I'm struggling to find it.
I'm more afraid of everyone else how the point difference between second place and last place is 700 points.
That's a really good point. There's a tie for last place currently.
Just a reminder, if in the case of a tie, what happens with the Uma?
The Uma will be shared evenly. So in the case of a third and fourth place tie, third place usually gets -5 and fourth place gets -15. But they'll share that, so it becomes -20 shared evenly. So -10 to one, -10 to the other.
And just curious, if it happens to 3 people, it's the same rule?
Yes, I believe so. I don't think we've ever seen a 3-way tie, but I would love to be able to witness that on a broadcast one of these days.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the point right now. I think with a 700 point difference, I don't think it's ever possible to get a 3-way tie. Yeah, I don't think so.
No, not. I'm trying to think if there's a Ricci, if that will change anything, but it doesn't quite work. We will see a Dama Tempai from Michael on the right for no Ricci. It would be Ricci Dora 1, but doesn't really want to take this.
Would you reach it?
Tsumo.
Yes, I would. Because if I'm going to Ipatsumo, I might as well, Ricci for the Mangan. Okay, what
the
I
game is
Ricci?
really trolling.
I don't think there's a problem with reaching, because what else are you going to do? Your improvements are somewhat limited, and you've already dropped the 5-pin. So I don't think there's a problem with reaching, but also, you don't have to do anything. You can just do nothing and still win. So Michael's probably more than happy to finish with a plus 48.7. Dylan, Tomas, and Adam just doing the best they could to hold on here. Ended up being incredibly close, and because it was a Tsumo, Adam ate the Oyakaburi, and that broke the tie. Had to pay a little bit extra, and so he will take the minus 25.4th and drop him into that demotion zone. But Michael climbs up almost into the positives, and in a division that currently looks like it's got 7 promotions. If there are any bonus spots, you want to be close to that promotion line, which is currently plus 66. So Michael making big strides to getting there.
Well, as long as no one gets close to my score, I'm happy.
Well, I think you're pretty safe right now, so no worries about that just yet. Okay, I see they've started game number 2, and we only caught a bit of this first one, so I think we should watch a little bit more from this table and see if we can figure out how Michael is doing it. But just to keep everyone updated, there's a lot of action happening tonight. Multiple games have completed already in other divisions. I know A1 series has already finished 1, maybe 2 games. An A2 series has just started. And of course, this B3 table is and the C1 table from previously still in action. So we'll try to keep you updated if we get a break. What I'm realizing, I forgot to update the text here that this is actually a B3 table.
Oh yeah, please don't demote me. Well, looking at the hand-wise, East is Dora, but well, with that East discard, it's a lot cheaper to drop it from here on. Dealer is close to temp, somewhat close to tempai. A few awkward shapes, but a North Shampong. That'd be North would be a kind of hell weight, but I'd be fine to see that on the right there. That looks standard Pinfu. There is a chance for Sanchoka, I guess. Pretty low though.
Yeah,
Opposite, yeah.
if you specifically draw the 4, though, I like that Michael's keeping that option open. The 4
Yeesh.
Yeah.
specifically. But you're just about to get to Tomas's hand across the table, and he slams a Ricci for Ricci possible San Anko. What do you think about taking this weight versus dropping the 2-mon instead, or the 3-mon?
Well, I mean, to be honest, the other way would be better win rates, but I think he's going for the dreams here, and also the fact that you have 2 possible cons with this weight, or well, not with the 2-mon, but still with the 9-mon.
Yeah, it's an interesting question which one to choose. But Ricci San Anko should be more value than Ricci even Takame Ipeko. So I don't mind playing this way because Tomas needs points. So gotta be a little bit greedy. I love it.
Yeah, I'm just sad that two monitor came out, so you can't go for a double con play. But I think 9-mon.
It's still in the wall.
Yeah. So let's hope to see a con because I want to see chaos.
Yeah, actually, speaking of tiles in the wall, there are 3 for this Shampoo Wade. Shabo not usually very strong in terms of number of tiles in the wall, especially central ones like these, but he's getting there, and also getting there is Dylan. Shanten now might consider dropping this Haku soon.
Also on the left here with Adam, that's also a very funny Shanten.
Oh, it could be Chitoi, it could be Ipeko, it could be Dianpeko. Oh my goodness.
Tsumo.
But there's the Tsumo. Tamas finds it. A rare Yaku Richi Tsumo Sananko. And misses the Ura, but a nice Mangan. Great win for Tamas, and the greed paying off.
Yeah, no, it's nice to see that Sananko. The one question I had in my head was, do you ever try to change that into Sananko?
Oh, of course you have to think about that. I think
Pom.
with the sequence already confirmed, usually you don't convert that one. So if your final weight is a Diamond, and you've got all the other triplets already, then you definitely have to think about it.
Speaking of Yakuman, on the left here, Dylan. I mean, Dylan does have both of the 2 wins, and I would be happy to see another Yakuman.
I would love to see it too. A tough choice here, though. Do you hold the door up? Goes with the 8-mon.
8? That's okay. That's either okay.
Oh,
I
oh, oh!
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Calm. We're fine. This is a Honitsu, just not the Honitsu we thought. It's gonna chi the 1-pin, drop 3 mon, call the east, wait on the west. He sees the path.
I see the path too. Oh my gosh, this is so much drama. Are you gonna drop the west?
You gotta
Uh,
drop it sooner rather than later. It's so scary. Maybe he doesn't want to drop it because of the danger that Dylan's presenting here. There goes the 3 mon.
oh.
And again, a lot of players would just play this as a toy or, a mon honitsu. But Dylan sees the path to West Tonki and a Yakuman.
Kan.
Kan for Kan? Kan because you can't drop any Pinzu? Oh! The
Oh!
West!
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
This could happen. This could actually happen. We're Isha 10.
Oh my god! Dealer, get out! No, dealer, don't take Tenpai. Get out of here. I don't want to see a Ricci from you.
Okay, wait. Tenpai on 1-pin, 3-pin, 4-pin, and of course East and West. 6 comes out. No Kan. Michael. Very strong Ishanten here. 1-pin, 4-pin are being locked away. 5-pin's got to come out. The door doesn't matter at this point. There's only one thing that we want here. It's an east or west.
Yep. I mean, obviously, a 1 or 4 should come out just to get Tenpai, because you got to get Tenpai to get the Yakuman. But yeah,
another
no.
4 drawn by Tomas. These tiles are running out. There's only one 1-pin, one 4-pin, and one 3-pin. It's actually discarded.
Ooh.
Wow. Chitoi, Ishanten, or Tomas. 3-pin preemptively discarded. Wow. Willing to sacrifice a little bit of tile acceptance here.
Aw, that 8. Personally, I would just drop the 8-pin. I'm not sure what. Personally, I don't see the reason of doing that. Like, wouldn't you rather have the chance to pong it?
Perhaps, but it is Tenpai for Tomas on the door 2-pin. I don't think that's coming out from anyone, though.
Against that hand, nope.
Oh, no! I mean,
See,
actually, he would have dealt in. He would have dealt in if he got Tenpai there.
that's fair. That is fair.
What a big brain move! The dream is still alive. Okay, let's go. 1-pin, 4-pin. There's still 2 in the wall. We can do it. The East and the West are alive as well. East is only once cut, right? And
yeah.
West is once held.
Come on, Wall. You have one job.
You know what to do. 5-pin's not it.
5-pin. No, come
There's
on,
the West,
stop
there's the
teasing
West.
us. Oh,
I don't think Michael's gonna drop it, though.
no way you drop West there. No, that is dangerous as fuck.
I think it's dead. I think it's over. Surely.
No.
The dream.
Oh my gosh. No.
Oh, 4-pin was the final draw.
Oh my gosh.
There was a chance if someone dropped the West even there that the 4-pin could have come out for some reason, but instead...
That could have been a Haite or a Hote. That would
Exactly.
have been amazing.
Hote Yakuman? Crazy. Instead...
Oh my gosh. Why do people defend?
Tomas, the only player Tenpai will pick up the points, but applause, Dylan. What a play to try to get that Yakuman. Had the foresight for it.
No, the wall just ate up the East. See, the wall just didn't want him to get it.
We were just talking about the wall eating up the winners, and it happened here. Tragedy for Dylan, but the rest of the table, they might not know what they've just avoided here. They might suspect, but they don't know for sure. And somehow
yeah.
you have to slow your heartbeat back down to a normal pace and try to play the next hand if you're Dylan.
Oh my gosh, that's the worst feeling. Like you get up to a Yakuman Ishanten, you just can't do your first thought is where's my weights, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Who's holding it? Who am I mochi mochi with? The East already came out. No one can use it. Come on, please give it to me. It just wasn't there. Dylan is Ishanten for Ricci Pinfu Tanya though. Potential Tanya, and Tomas as well, very close to Ricci Dora. Second Dora picked up by Perry. That's monstrous. Now he has to decide which shape to keep. Will it go for the Itsu Or will he take the wider acceptance? We'll play for the Itsu. A full greed from Perry.
I mean, that's also better because you can cheat for Tenpai too, right? Like, I don't hate a cheat for Tenpai too much with this hand.
Yeah, Atosuke for a 6 or 9 can be a little bit tricky as your final weight, but perhaps Adam
1
playing for maximum points here given the positions.
1
Oh, we're going to see the dealer Ricci, though. Finally got there.
The sad thing is 6-pin does not come out from the dealer.
No, and it doesn't come out from Michael either, so Adam's going to need to find another route.
Interestingly, Michael. Oh yeah, couldn't take that Tenpai because that'd be a Yakunashi. Could take this Tenpai though. Would you take it?
つも
Yeah, and well, that gave the winning tile to Moss, who is on an absolute tear here. Hits the Ura as well, 12,000 plus the Ricci stick plus Homba, 53,000 points. Now we're seeing Tomas pull out what Michael did in the previous game. Oh, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Another chance. Come on, Dylan, you can get one this game.
Go yeah, Dylan. Dylan again of all people.
Hatsu's in the wall. Chun is in the wall. Haku might come out on the right from Adam. And it's
Keep it-
live. It's possible.
I mean, I'm hoping he keeps it. Come on, keep it a bit longer. No.
Hoping. I think he's going to. I mean, you have to. Given that, remember, he had the foresight for the previous Yakuman.
ポン
Puln will absolutely snap that one up. And I think we're going for it again. Now the Dora is the Haku. That might be one reason why Adam does not want to drop this.
Oh yeah, that is a lot dangerous. Ooh, that's sad. Yeah, when you're going for big 3
Gee.
dragons, the last thing you want to see is that your dragon being a Dora.
However, Adam's hand does look like it wants to be a standard hand, even a Tanyao. So there is a chance that we could see it come out. But Tomas hits Tenpai. Will he reach you? No, does not do it yet.
Ama.
I don't think Perry drops the Haku if there's a Richi, but he might drop it if there is if he gets some good draws and there's no threat.
Ooh, yeah. I guess Yakuman is nice, but with 2 Dora in the hand. Oh, but
Each.
that's insta reach from the dealer.
Oh.
You might have to drop the green dragon. That's sad.
Yeah, but you have 2 Dora. It's worth the fight. I think Tomas might be missing out on a little bit of value here by cutting the 4 instead of the 1, missing out on the Peiko chance. Still the
I
same
think,
weight, 2-5. Pretty. There's only 3 5s in the wall. And yeah, Huts comes out. 2-5. Oh, but it comes out
Boom.
from Michael, who was Ishantan, and that will be. I guess that was Dian Shantan even.
Ooh.
The Ura
Ura
kill and Tomas. Forget the last game. Just charging up to 60,000 points. We're only in East 3. We'll see how many points he can claim in this game.
Well, this hand is, I guess, fine. That's 6, 7, 7, 9 shape in the Soju. You'd prefer to get an 8 so to fill that up, but other than that, it's a pretty nice hand. Ooh, wait. 8 so is being held on the opposite by Dylan.
Yeah, actually, all 4 are being held right now. So Tomaso's going to have to find a different route. That's okay. If this turns into Tanya, the 9 still will be coming out anyway. But it feels like the hand to beat is Perry's on the right, though. 3 Dora already concealed in hand, and Haku pair as well. An amazing 7-mon field. Ishanten already. Ooh, interesting choice now. We'll discard the 1 pin anyway.
Ooh, is that... I guess he's trying to create for a Hongitsu, I guess.
Yeah, you could still just call the Haku and be Tenpai's as well. Of course, the 1 pin pair as your final shape there does mean you have a better chance at
1
just a better weight in the end, but just draws the Sanzo and now slams a Richi for this incredible Entotsu plus. It's Samenchan with the Entotsu shape for the Haku as well. And
Tsumo.
Ipatsumo! Oh, this is a bomb. That's Hanuman minimum. No Ura.
I mean, I'm happy with that. Like, even if I don't get like Ura, like, yikes, that was a great Ibatsumo.
Yeah, and that does hurt Tomas the most, but he's still sitting at 55,000 points. Adam, after that big win, rewarded for his faith in the Sanzo, tries to continue on as the dealer here in East 4. Hand looks like it wants to be a Tanyao, so we'll probably just play straight forward in that direction. On the right, Ricci Dora, most likely. Some awkward shapes to fill, but 3 Diamond is quite good. Across the table, Michael has a nice pair of Dora, but 4 pairs in total, and not necessarily a straightforward path to Tanyao either, so a little bit of hand construction necessary for Michael. And for Tomas, those shapes look pretty strong. This is Ishanten already, with a Diamkan around the door. That 3-5-7 means that if you draw the 4-so or the 6-so, no matter which way you do it, you will be incorporating the door into your hand. And will he play for Chitoi now?
Or Tanyao.
Yeah, a couple different ways to go. Actually chooses to drop the 7 here and potentially wait on the Dora indicator. Which, if his read is that the Dora indicator is more alive than the 6-so, he's absolutely right, amazingly.
That is true. I'm just wondering in general, what would you drop there?
I think I go 3-so.
3-so,
So
okay.
similar thought. I
Each.
kind of like the option of getting a Chitoi here. We'll slam a Ricci now. Incredibly fills the Ankos, so Ricci Dora 1 waiting on that 4. Adam does draw one of those, but will not discard it. It is dangerous.
Tsumo.
Tomas just knows.
Wow.
Tomas just knows. Ricci Tsumo Dora. Ura misses, but still 3 and 40 is incredible. Back over 60,000 again, and this time it's Adam taking the Oyakaburi. Still over 30k though.
5, 6, 7 terminals. Possible Hongisip. That's a fun draw. You think the dealer hand is a Hongis or just a normal hand?
Until I draw a pair of Yakuhai, I think it's just a normal hand.
Home.
You could cut the Wonmon and hedge the Honitsu, but I think Dylan might be thinking about the 1-2-3 Sanchoku chance. As is, it's just a speedy tempai for Adam, waiting on 5-8 pin for Hatsu only. Dora, you might be tempted to Tanki on that, but stays disciplined with his weight.
I think at his point, just taking the better
Sumo.
weight is better. But would have been rewarded if he did went for greed.
Yeah. Still, you know, if you drew the 5 pin, you might be feeling a little bit sad. So, you never know what's going to happen. In the end, it will be the cheap win for Adam. The extra 1,000 points would be much better. So, it's been a struggle for Dylan and for Michael to do anything this game. It's been the Tomas and Adam show. But maybe our dealer can put something together this time. 7-8-9 Sanchoku is viable. Also has the East pair to just call and go. And there's the East thinking.
Home.
Calling.
Yeah.
Does decide to make the play.
I think as dealer, you have to call that.
I'm in agreement. I think as much as I would love to have a 7-8-9 Sanchoku, you're not necessarily giving it up with this call. And it's just a lot easier to complete the hand with the East call than if you are building this closed and dreaming about maybe opening up with these Penchan and Kanchan weights without another backup Yaku. And one more small benefit of doing it this way is that if you need to Tonki on something, Dora Tonki is great. Because you already have your Yaku.
That's fair. Ooh, could this be a change? Do you think this is close to Itsu or Sanchoku?
I think you don't have enough blocks for Itsu, so we'll just maintain the Sanchoku shapes and actually cutting the 6 because there's a chance that somehow this shifts to Chanta.
Repair.
Yeah, a little unlucky there. I think that's a reasonable vision from Michael because you already have 7-pin acceptance, so you're not actually losing any
Boom.
tiles by cutting the 6-pin other than the 6-pin itself. And of course, that's a tile that gets drawn. But see, now we're rewarded with a 1-pin draw, and we can play for it all. Ton,
Ooh.
Sanchoku, Chanta.
As dealer, that's a pretty nice sounding hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially as you said, as dealer, it's a little bit. It feels a little bit weak as non-dealer because it's really a struggle to complete these difficult shapes, and you're doing all of that for only 3,900.
Gee,
But for 5,800, it feels like a lot more worth it. And the table might be reading a tempi now that there have been 2 calls, but again, the Pinzu looks like the safe suit, and that's where the tiles deal in.
Ooh, the
Boom.
ow, yeah.
Yeah, that's not Dylan's fault. That's just the natural cut in this hand, and it looks really safe. Unfortunately, that does deal in for 5,800, and so the 2 players will trade places. And Michael again with the East pair.
So this hand is a lot more interesting how you want to play. Okay, just decide to go for standard.
And I think we've seen a lot of that over the course of these games so far. When in doubt, when your hand doesn't look like it's got a great start and you have so many of these honors, typically these players have been just chucking away with the honor tiles, just turning it into a standard hand. And I think that's normally the correct play.
Curious, do you have any insight on, I guess, the discard order of like terminals and honors in general?
Typically, I will discard terminals before honors unless there's a specific reason, a specific Yakugo I'm aiming for. A lot of times I'll discard honors if I specifically don't want someone to get them, even if the terminal is the normal cut. There's always the, if you have the 4, discard the 1. If you have the 6, discard the 9 thing that happens quite a bit in terms of just efficient cuts. And a lot of times those are more valued as your first cut before an honor tile.
Ooh, on the right here, that's not necessarily Sanjoku, but I'm curious, do you ever see a 9-man to force the Sanjoku shapes there with Tudora?
gee,
Ooh, with Tudora, that is actually quite intriguing. Because we have a floating tile, and because the Sanchoku is guaranteed after calling the 9-mon, I'm not opposed to that. Yeah, that is an interesting idea. I mean, the downside is we could also just draw into Tempai and have Richidor too. Tomas has another idea as well. He can just turn this into Tanyao.
Oh gosh, look at the dealer's hand.
Oh my, this is turning into Honitsu. Mochi Mochi on the Chun, but the Hots can come out, and the Ton is in the wall, so definitely opportunity for Michael here. Oh, there's the 9-mon. Not necessarily a full backfire. Tomas can still draw the 6-pin and be no worse. Six pins all going to the wrong players, though. Adam looking for Chitoi Door 2 across the table. Dylan Atanya on the left.
Oh, ooh, has calls off. Would you just commit to the Sancho Chitoi with that hand?
That's a close one. We are Ishantan, and there's a lot of value in it. I think I might actually go for the Chitoi here because it's late. Because we're approaching the last row, and it might be too difficult.
gee,
Because as we've seen, there's a Mochi Mochi situation. Adam might actually be suspecting that that's the case, in which case Chitoi might actually just be the better play. But Ton is in the wall. We have Honitsu, Yakuhai for Michael. Does the East come out? This will be 12,000 points.
Like with those discards, I'm afraid that's Hongi's Tenpai.
Absolutely. However, it's live in the wall. You could just Tsumo it. And you know
That's-
what? Tomas, could have been Tenpai here, but could not afford to drop the 8. So as you said, it looks like Honitsu. It turns out the 8 so actually passes. Dylan willing to slam the Ricci for Ricci Tanya winning 3-6 pin, which is almost completely dead. That means he has no defense if he draws the Ton, and he'll have another draw. Tomas finds Tenpai as well, waiting on the 5 pin. Misses. Once again, the honor tile buried in the wall.
Wall really doesn't like the honor tiles. Oh wow, look on the right.
Look on the right. First turn con. Come on, we want to see it. Oh,
I
it's
think
actually
Khan I feel like Khan might be the right play actually.
I agree. Yeah, I think first turn con here is totally fine because you already have your Yaku, and if things start to get scary, if you're worried that someone else is going fast, you can just start to call down for your 3 Han hand. Right, it's double south and an honor con, which adds 32 fu. That's essentially another Han. So I think it's totally fine to con there, but now we're starting to lose efficiency by holding it. We'll see when Tomas pulls the trigger, if at all. Also, I mean, keep in mind, he's at 60,000 points, so conning can increase the volatility of the game and could create a situation where he could be losing a chunk of points as well.
Just I feel like some people would con just because they don't want to see the con button every turn.
That's true. At some point, it just gets annoying enough that you just hit the button for that reason. Okay, now you have to make a decision and choose not the con.
Like I feel like at first place I feel like that's usually the right choice, but at the same time, that's
Right.
sad.
And keep in mind that in the standings, Tomas is in 22nd place, and he is 70,000 points, 70 rank points away from the demotion line. So currently he's looking at like plus 45, plus 50, depending on how things go. Oh, Sanshoku.
Wow, that's
Dama. Oh, this is a killer.
you Yamada or Richi that?
Adama's okay. It's already Mangan. If you Tsumo Tanemon, Sanshoku Dabanan Dora, you could reach you for confirmed Hane.
Yeah, because I'm wondering if you Richi that actually just to make someone fall it for the 6-0 Suji trap.
It depends on if you think the table will be more suspicious of the 3-so, because it's close to Dora. Like, if you don't Richi, they might drop it naturally, but if you do Richi, they know someone's Tenpai, and it just becomes naturally more dangerous, even ignoring the fact that it's Richi Suji. Oh, Adam picked the wrong side of the Diancon here. We'll maintain the 7-8.
We'll say dealers also Ishanten from a Sanshok.
Yeah, and Kamicha Tenpai now on the Dora and 1-pin Shabo.
I don't think you want that. You gotta cheat that.
Yes, it's too late. And you still have a Yaku, you can still win. Oh, lets it go and draws the 1-pin instead! And that's going to swap places again. Chum Dora 2. 52 plus the stick and Homba.
Yeah, that's one of the situations where, not necessarily for that reason, but you get punished for not, like, taking the confirmed Tenpai. Like, I feel like as dealer, you usually want to take that Tenpai because you have a winning chance, and also as dealer, you want to repeat, especially when you're so close to last place.
Yeah, I think we were getting close enough to the end that you might even just call for K10, even if you didn't have a Yaku. But I think it's on par with Michael's general approach. I think he prefers to stay close. Let me see if I have stats to back that up. Michael call rate 28.4%. That is lower than average for sure.
I think it's higher than mine though.
Wow, you actually have lower than that. I know your strategy this season has been to stay close and win the big hand, right?
Somehow it's been working very well.
Well, yeah, I see you're up at number 1 in this division, so definitely I would agree that it's been working well. It seems like this table in general has either below average call rate or right around average call rate. So no one super aggressive on the calls. That might just be the B3 meta currently.
The thing is, I've noticed that I've seen a fair amount of games where some people win a lot of hands, but because they're only winning 1,000 or 2,000 hands, they end up getting a bad position because they lose to one person getting a Mangan Simo.
Yeah, I think that's really valuable for people whose strategy is to just win as fast as possible and just aim to outpace people. Don't forget to take your opportunity when you have it. If you have a chance at a Mongon, really try to make it happen. You don't always need to win the cheapest hand, especially if you feel like your position early in the round is advantageous. Like you feel like you're way ahead of the rest of the table. You can afford to play a little bit more slowly and let the rest of the table catch up. Sacrifice some of your speed in order to confirm your monster hand. So I'm definitely on board with that. I think I also have a tendency to sometimes open up because I'm pessimistic about my winning chances, and I do miss out on some opportunities as a result. Always good to be mindful of the opportunities as they present themselves and be optimistic enough to aim for them.
How long has the dealer been Ishanten for?
Well, I mean, they've been making a lot of
Gee.
Kadashi, so
See, that's what you think, but they've been Ishanten for a while.
okay, they've just been dancing around
Pom.
Ishan then. We have Chi Pon into Tenpai on the left, Michael with
Come.
a Khan. So it's Dora 3 now, flips another Dora, and this is a Mongun now. Michael could be right back in it, but I think this has got to be Tenpai for it doesn't take it.
It's still Tenpai, like that's still a 6-9
Oh,
so
you're right,
Tenpai
you're
there.
right.
It's just that I think he was wondering whether he should reach this or not.
Yeah. Oh, the nine's gonna come out.
Oh,
I mean,
yikes.
still a monster. Pinfudora 2 as dealer, and Tomas up to 67,000 points. So we have to ask. Do you think that should be a Ricci there?
Well, I'm dealer. I have a diamond weight. I Riichi.
Yeah, you have two door already. There's 2 indicators, and you have a player that's opened 3 times, so their defense is limited. I think there's a lot of reasons to Ricci there, but it is also very on brand from what we've seen from Tomas. When he has a hand with value, he tries. It seems that he tries to maximize the win rate of that hand. So maybe a playstyle difference.
Yeah, like personally, I don't hate that. It's just that, like, personally, like if I were in that same situation, the fact that I'm dealer means that I'm not afraid of dealing in too much because think of it like this: you deal into a Mangan, that just progresses the game.
Yeah. Tomas not really in a position where he wants to deal into a Mongon though, but at the same time, I don't think he's ever folding on anything. So at that point, maybe you just consider reaching anyway. Of course, there's the win rate consideration if you think the 9-so comes out more easily. I doubt the 6-so comes out with a Ricci, as that was the new Dora.
Pom.
A very interesting situation, and Tomas, I mean, did win the hand up to 67,000 points now, but Perry aiming to shut down this dealership, Tenpai with Tanya.
I mean, Tanya Nomi, like at second place, you want to stay above 30k. I think that's a very nice tempai.
Dylan makes a shift, aiming for
Boom.
all the diamond shapes. Will actually cut away from the only pair in the hand.
I think I want to keep that pair.
I guess your alternate would be 6-7.
Tsumo.
Doesn't matter. This is the 6-1 Tsumo. And again, Adam doing his best to stay afloat here. Will have to survive in all last, or maybe just go on a run. Take a look at the high pie and see which is likely.
Anyao?
How about Tanya Door 3? Yeah, I see this
I
high
did
pie.
not see the Dora indicator for a second, but yeah. By the way, on the left there.
Oh, we're gonna do it again. Is that Dylan? No, that's Tomas. Actually, this is Chitoi Shunten. I was looking at all the honors and then realized we're Chitoi Tenpai. What?
That's actually really difficult. Like, do I reach to this or not?
Like there's
I,
Honitsu plays if you want it.
I
Honitsu
know
Toikoi.
it's at the point that I'm like,
You could legitimately Tuso or even Chun and go for like Suanko.
Each.
Slam the reach instead.
no, BS, no. You gotta go for 4 big dragons.
The wins again? They're going for the wins? Oh, there's the Chun on Ipatsu turn. It's the only honor in his hand. He had nothing but Tanyao and no safety. What are you supposed to do? That was some impressive Ipatsu timing by Tomas, though.
I was surprised that he waited a turn, but I will say that's one of the weird cases where you might want to Ricci because Ricci makes it a higher chance for the red dragon to come out.
Yeah, I mean it's so early. What do you have to defend again? Defend with, and for Michael, there was absolutely nothing. Look at this hand. There's nothing.
That's a hand I want to Ricci.
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, there's nothing you can do but take the hit. And for Tomas, I mean, what a monster win! Plus 57.8, with 72,000 points. That goes a long way to escaping the demotion zone, and also his first victory of the season. Congrats to Tomas for that, approaching that that mark that Adam's currently sitting at in the safety zone. Adam picking up 7.7, escapes demotion temporarily. Dylan with a third. Michael, just a really unlucky game, had some really nice hands, but as we saw in that last one, just also a couple of unfortunate moments.
Yeah, no, I'm just sad I couldn't see a single Yakuman in the game. Very sad.
Yeah, there were two Yakuman chances. One of them was to Ishon 10 for so long, and just could not find it. But props to Dylan for giving us that entertainment. All right, time to scan the tables and see what's going on. What is our next likely game? Probably this. Hmm. Do.
There's like 2 or 3 tables about to start.
Yeah, I think all the tables have started. So we'll hop into one of these matches that's already in progress, but maybe before we do so, let's take a look at what's been going on not only in this division. Of course, we saw the results of 2 games from B3, but a lot of other action has been happening. Let me scan to the results from the A1 division. I'm seeing 2 or 3 games have been played so far. In the first game, Max with a plus 23.0, Andre plus 10.3. It was Max stealing away the first place in all last. A very tense matchup between those two who are fighting for the top of A1. In game number 2, though, it was Andrew with a monstrous win, plus 42.1. Matthew plus 42.1, and Andrew picking up plus 15.9 in second place with a Baimon in all last. Richi Tsumo Chundora Ura 4 to overtake second place from Max, who finishes with a plus 9.1, and Andre took minus 67.1. Well, Andre no longer in contention for first place after that game, but still 2 more in that series to make up some points. We saw the C1 result with Jackson picking up plus 37.6. We saw the B3 result with Michael picking up 48.7. In the second game from the C1 series, it was TJ plus 30.0. The other 3 players were below 30,000. TJ positive in both games so far in that C1 series. Game number 3 for the A1 series has finished as well. Max plus 37.5. Matthew took the plus 17.5. And Andre another 4th. So might actually be middle of the pack now if we were to look at those standings. Again, another Baimon, Max this time, jumping into first place in South 2 with Haitei Chun Honitsu Dora 4.
Wow.
There was the game started with a Mongon. Matthew Tsumo dealer Hanemon. A couple turns later, Matthew won another Mongon, and then in a double round, Matthew another Mongon was in control in this game until that Baimon Sumo from Max. Incredible game, and I almost wish we were there to cast it. But the games continue with 8-2. Steven L picking up 47.8, the only player over 30,000 and causing turmoil at the demotion zone. It's a very close race now in the A2 division. We're probably going to that division next. And of course, we just saw the Tomas monstrous win. We are all caught up on the action for the evening. Looks like there have been some incredible results, and I can't wait to see how the standings look after that. As mentioned, though, there is an A2 series going on right now. I think we will try to take a peek at the conclusion of that game. It'll just take me a moment to swap over there.
Ooh, is that the... Ooh, Harrison's there.
Harrison is indeed playing in that series. Harrison... Who else is in that match? Of course, Steven, we mentioned.
Yep. Ada and Christian.
Okay, perfect.
Do you have a good scouting report on the four of them?
Oh, absolutely. Let's get into the game, and then I will describe everyone to the best of my ability. I've watched these players play for quite a bit, and so I have a decent perspective. Looks like we are into the South rounds, and we're already a couple players Tenpai Ada picking up the win there. And after we change perspectives, it looks like it's been a relatively close game. Christian currently in the lead. Steven close behind at 32,000. Ada, after that win, is catching up to third place. That's where Harrison currently resides. And yeah, I think we mentioned Ada's name before as a player who is very aggressive, someone who participates in a lot of hands, someone with a slightly higher call percentage. And we can see this time there's a 45.3%, which is above average, but not as much as we've seen in some previous seasons. But still, 63.5 participation rate is in the upper end of the entire league. And this Hypie for Ada looks really nice. Chances at Richie Dora, Richie Penfu Dora even. Harrison on the right tends to play a little bit more standard. Less aggressive, especially in A2. It seems this season and even last season he's been playing with a little bit more caution in the mind compared to his previous season in B1 where he promoted at the top of the division. And Christian across the way, also someone who I've always thought of as a fairly cautious player, will take his opportunities when he gets them. But I distinctly remember I was playing a series against him, and it seemed like every time I reach it, he would hold my winning tile and then find Tenpai on it, and I wouldn't even get the full Ryukyoku payments. So Christian also quite adept at defending.
Boom.
We'll call open for Tenpai here. Tanya Door 2, quite strong. 5-6 shape needs to be completed with a 4-so or a 7-so, and there are 5 in the wall. And Steven on the left is actually one of the players at this table who I know the least about.
I'm amazed with his 23% win rate and 8% deal-in rate. Wow.
Tsumo.
There's the Tsumo for Christian. Yeah, that was the one thing that stood out for me from watching a couple of his games is he doesn't deal in a lot. He has a pretty good sense of when he can push, what can afford to drop something, and when to back out. And typically with more defensive players, the win percentage suffers as well, but 23.2 is very strong, is actually the highest at this table. So doing quite well this season and is doing the best out of this group right now in 8th place currently, right out of the promotion zone, which is 5 players big in this A2 division, but very closely contested.
Mm, Healer hand here. That looks like a comeback hand for me if he can reach you that. Oh,
Oh, yeah, definitely could be a comeback hand.
does not take the Ricci though. Do you agree with that?
I am on board with this. There's a decent number of improvements. I think you're totally justified in taking the Ricci. Yeah, I have no problem with doing that. With like Ricci plus 1 as dealer is already good. You have Ricci plus 2, so that's more than justified. But I don't mind upgrading the weight here.
Oh,
And speaking
wow.
about upgrades, how about this 3-sided 258 Ricci Dora Nan.
That is an amazing hand, gosh.
And Harrison also someone who's been vocal about not accepting bad weight Ricci's. He prefers to just break the tempi and wait for something better. And he found something better.
Up it.
Tsumo.
Oh, gets the sumo. Nice.
Talk about changing fortunes. This is a Mangan minimum. It's the Uda. It doesn't change the score though. 4,000 from all, and he actually leaps into first place after that win.
That's the thing. No matter how far you are behind in this type of mode, a single Oya Mangan just puts you into first place.
Absolutely. And it's not like the other hands that we saw were that bad. I mean, Christian just won Tanya Dora 2. 39 is typically very strong, especially in Akanashi, but Harrison coming back with that dealer Mangan, and now might be able to extend that a little bit further. Finds another pair. Some decent floating tiles. I wonder if he's...
Pon.
I'm sure he's thinking about 79 Sanchoku, but it's just not there in this hand.
Oh, I was wondering if there's the Itsu chance.
Itsu, much more likely, yes. It looks like Ada's got a very speedy hand. Ada tends to like to force Honitsu and Toy Toy, and this one looks like it's going to be a Toy Toy.
Yep. Toy Toy. You ever climb the 7-pin?
Yeah, sure. Might as well. We're in 4th place. We need to make something happen.
Yeah. Everyone else. Ooh, that's a really good two-so draw. Is that? I think that's Ish. Oh, does not want to take the 2-9-9. Does not want to take the possible Shabo shape. Interesting.
Ooh, Harrison might be dealing in here. Yeah,
4
Ada filled the difficult to find form on and ended up Tempai. A surprise, absolutely. But that will be a catch-up hand for Ada, who's now just out of 3rd place range, and honestly, not that far back from the rest of the pack now. It's Christian, who is back in the lead with all last dealership.
Doesn't look like the most ideal hand. Yeah, I'm curious how this hand shapes out. Maybe
I'm
force Tanya?
definitely not very optimistic about it at first glance.
So on the left here, if Harrison just wants to confirm... Ooh, Harrison has a choice here. He can try to go for a more confirmed 1,000 with the Green Dragon, or greed for a Hongitsu for a possible takeover of first place. Which one do you think? Which one do you think would happen, and which one do you think you like?
Okay, 2nd place is decent, but I think I'm on board with trying to take over 1st place. Let's see. How much food do we have? Oh, no, he's just going for it. Okay. We don't have to think about food.
Yeah, I'm just curious. For him to get, he is 4,000 away from the dealer, so
Yeah, you need to go for Honitsu at that point.
yeah. So I'm just curious. Does this have enough food that if you get a drone, you can get first place?
Um, yes. Let's see, it's what, 39 for Honitsu Yakuhai. Now we're at 8 currently. So if we Tsumo this, it's enough. Oh, Rowan's gonna be enough too.
Or you could just get Rowan.
Yeah,
Why
Rowan's
not?
easily enough.
Now did you think when first place just gives you your winning tile?
Yeah, 7. So from anyone else would leave him 100 points shy, but you really have to think about it in that case. But when it comes out right there, Harrison will happily take that for a plus 21.4, a much needed 20 points, because that demotion line is super close. Christian will advance as well, make some positive ground towards that mark, and currently it is Christian who is the cut line.
That sounds like a horrible place to be in. Have you ever had a season where you were near the cut line and you had to fight a lot on that in general?
Funny you should ask that. I think every single season in A1, I was on the cut line until the season I won it. Every season. It was my first season. I was almost guaranteed demotion, and it ended up, due to some wild things that were happening, it ended up coming down to the last series, and I got third place in both of those games, in the both of the last 2 games, but my competition got fourth place in both of the games. So
Oh,
it was that was the only reason I survived. The following season, it came down to the last 2 games of the season as well, and I got first and survived. And then the next season, I also survived in a close race as well. So I'm definitely very experienced in almost demoting.
that sounds very stressful.
Oh, believe me, it was. But at this point, I've realized that everyone's going to be relegated at some point. It's just statistically, it's going to happen. So I no longer fear the relegation. It's going to happen. If it's this season, so be it. If it's next season, also so be it. There's a ton of great players in all the divisions, so I'll be happy playing in any division.
Fair, fair.
Okay, well, do we have the full standings yet? Let's pull that up and take a look at exactly what's going on in that cut line. Loose currently safe, Harrison safe, but Riley's at minus 104.5 with 4 games to play in this session. Christian with 2 games to play in this session at negative 116. Brian with 4 games, negative 123. All those players could easily hop out of danger. Rachel's
That
not too
just
too far behind, although she has 4 more games to play.
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna note here. I'm actually surprised Zilong and Alfred are already finished with all their games.
Yeah, I believe Zlong needed to finish the season ahead of time, so ended up playing a 4 game set. Alfred, I think, might have been on that table as well, so his seasons does well. It is a little weird that some of these games are showing up as 20s instead of 24s, but everyone will be playing a 24-game season. Some sort of visual glitch there. I'm not sure why that's happening. As tight as the race is at the demotion line, the promotion line is equally close. That for these 5 promotions, Leon currently at positive 133.4, but yet right behind Jonathan, 20 games deep, but not too far either. And Steven making some ground as well, though I believe he did take the third in this game. I has been climbing up as well as Jonathan. So we'll see if there's as much drama at the end of the season for promotion as there was in the last season. Okay, looks like there's a little bit of a lull in the action. Only games that have already started currently running. Oh, well, there's a C1 match that I was interested in watching, and so I think that will be our next game. Let me go ahead and find out who's playing in C15.
Looks like TJ, Brian, Jackson, and Michael again.
Oh, that's C11. There's another
Oh,
C1 table. Start a little while ago. Tess, Benjamin, Eden, and Donald. I think Eden is also a substitute player this season, so very excited to see how they play. We'll see some usernames I'm not so familiar with. And we're in. Looks like we've caught them in game 1 of their series, although nearing the end of it. South 3. And currently, dealer sitting across the table. Has declared a Ricci. There's a Ricci on the right as well. And it goes to Ryukoku. All right, well, this gives us an opportunity to swap perspective and figure out who's who. I only know one of these players by name. It looks like our dealer is currently a Benjamin. On the right, Tess. Across the table, Donald. And on the left is Eden. Currently, Benjamin having a very interesting season. 4 first places, 10 second places, 0 thirds, and 2 fourths. Pretty strong results here up near the promotion zone. Likely that there will be a bonus spot in C1, so in theory, could be promoting with the current total.
Home.
But adding on to it, looks like in this game.
Well, I mean, so far that red call, that looks like a fast 1,000 hand, and as first place stealer, I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, with those 2 Ricci sticks as well, this is worth more than just the 1,500 points at first glance. 2,300 in the middle of the pot, and another diamond fill. This is excellent. There's door acceptance as well. Things are looking really promising for Benjamin. I suspect, if I had to make a guess, I would say Ben's winning another hand.
Ooh, I was wondering there on the right there, does Tess call for that 1,000 hand? Do you think she should have called it or not for the white dragon?
That's... so you're going to all last. It's not just 1,000. Again, we have that 2,300. Yeah, because there's extra sticks in the middle, I think I would take it. If there weren't the sticks, maybe not. Not 100% sure. We still do have the last dealership, so we would just prefer to be not last, going into all last, and call into Tempai. Holding the efficient shapes is rewarded here. Tempai on the 1-4 Mon for June only.
Ooh, 4 mine might come out on the right, or could come on an opposite, because that 1 mine looks pretty loose there.
Yeah, Donald has the 9-pin discard as well. If he doesn't believe that this is Tempai yet, might consider dropping the 1 first, because the 9-pin looks safer. But if he thinks it's Tempai, we'll probably start with the 9-pin, and then try the 1 later.
Each.
Instead, we're going to see a Ricci on the left.
Tsumo.
Oh, Tsumo comes in, so it's a Ricci stick donation, and will be not just 1,500, but 3 Ricci sticks in a home box. Then applying the pressure to the rest of the table, up to 44,000 points, now with double East and a single Dora.
Well, another East Yakuai pair. That looks nice, but I think there's some competition on the left. Eden with 2 red dragons there.
Definitely could match the speed. Perhaps an interesting question as always. Who holds the Dora? Who drops the Dora? How long do we keep it?
Yep, That's my favorite thing. That's actually one of my favorite things to see
Boom.
between League and League. I want to see how long people keep the dragon. I mean the Dora honor.
Mm-hmm. I suspect it's probably pretty similar on average, but
ポン
I do know some A1 players who and A2 players who are very greedy with the honor Dora.
So my question here is everyone else able to drop the north? You see the dealer with two calls, one being the Autoliga call. Do you find it safe enough to drop the North Dragon? I mean, not North Dragon. North Wind, but seems like one dropped.
Yeah, although there was a lot of hesitation, right? He was thinking,
Boom.
thinking, and said, "Okay, it's good enough. I don't believe you're Tempai, and if you are Tempai, it's not on this." And fortunately, was correct.
チ
Once the pay comes out, oh, not gonna cut the pay.
Oh my
This is
gosh,
some serious greed.
that is greed. I would think as first place and dealer, you just go for the 1,000, but wow.
Yeah, this is some real exciting stuff. Now, when the table sees six pin, they have to be concerned about a pair swap to something better than the 6-pin, which could be Dora, or a shift to Honitsu. Both of them are likely. Now, the pair swap to Dora got checked and passed. All the pays have come out, so that wind is just a safe tile in Ben's hand.
I'm curious. As dealer, are you okay with calling one? It doesn't matter.
We're
I
back
was
to
gonna
Tempai.
say. Was just gonna say, do you ever call the 1 or 4 so cheap for for one tile tanky?
Yeah, you might as well. And the rest of the table is no longer scared of your hand because it can't be anything more than 1500, but Tempai's Tempai.
Tsumo.
Speaking of which, there's a Tempai for Aiden that wins. And they will take the 1500 and the Homba, and it will be a close game here. Chance for them to take over first place.
Ooh, as dealer, that's a hand that I'm wondering. As last place, do you greed for Homich/Itsu?
I think you've got to be a little bit greedy, but at the same time, if it doesn't come, you have to be willing to just repeat. I would definitely aim for it, though. That's going to be my goal for this hand. I mean, you've got the shapes for it. You just need to find a pair and 358. The right Donald's just trying to stay afloat here. Stay ahead of Tess. It's going to be a challenge with these shapes, for sure. Maybe a Tanya is the best play. Need to cross the way. They've got a chance at Ricci. That's three completed shapes and a bunch of floating tiles is always a little awkward. It should be good, but I always feel like it's a little awkward, personally.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a. I wouldn't. That's an interesting 9 drop. Is that a? I want Tanya. Yeah, I feel like that's a. I want possible Tanya or Toy. I'm not sure.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
You know, my first impression was, like you said, forcing Tanya. But maybe now that you've drawn the Ankh of 8, so, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities that have opened up. Benjamin draws a connector to the Dora. Given how greedily he played the last hand, I think no surprise to see him aim for Ipeco Dora. Dora 2.
Ooh.
Tess has decided that it's going to be too hard to complete Itsu. Tanyao may be the better route. Sasha's playing officially. Well, here's a Ricci. Ricci, Tanyao. And if you Tsumo, if you hit an Uda, that'll be enough for first. So definitely going to take the chance. We'll be chased by Donald, who risks last place here, but is willing to fight for it and has a Genbutsu wait to the first Ricci. Will get the Ipatsu as well with a Dora. 52. Is that enough? I think because of the Ricci, even without the Ricci, that deal and Benjamin still would have first place. Yes. So confirmed plus 23.6 for Ben, plus 11.3 for Eden. Donald will survive in third place. Tess takes the fourth.
If that Ura hit, I think the standings would change a fair amount, wouldn't it?
You're right. At the very least, Eden would be taking the first there. As is, Benjamin with the victory will climb into a guaranteed promotion slot. And still more games to play. I think they've already started the second game of the set. As we boot that up, of course, I check the game results tab because I really am curious if we have the final game of the A1 series. Oh my goodness, we do. What? Okay. So in A1, the fourth game of the series, the match went 16 hands, 44 minutes and 44 seconds long. Matthew took first place with 76.2. We may have a new leader in A1. Matthew was right on the cusp, and I don't know his results from the first couple of games, but I think he's taken a plus 40 something and a plus 76.2. He might be in the lead now. I need to go to the standings to confirm this.
Nope. Max is first place by 5 points.
5 points, so close for Matthew again. Matthew got very close last season to taking the title home. It finished about 5 points short there. So with one session yet to go, it's a battle now between Max and Matthew. They are head and shoulders above the rest of the division. Unless a Peter can catch up, a Claire can catch up, they still have 4 games in hand. Even Garrick has 4 games. If he gets a monstrous finish, could match the rest of the table. But right now, it looks like it's a race between Max and Matthew going into the final set for them. Very exciting. But also exciting is the start of this second game and the C1 division, table 5. Possibly the last game of the evening for us, as typically these tables only play 2. But it will be Tess to start us off. Benjamin on the right, Donald across the table, and Eden on the left. What hand stands out to you the most here?
Well, I mean, the dealer is kind of in the Ishanten for Ricci one. If you can get the 8-man, that is the Ricci Pinfu one.
Yeah, Tess would absolutely love to pull in the 8-mon here. Oh, it gets the 2 instead, but you can Ricci this. Thinking, yeah, we'll take the early Ricci. And immediately 8-mon drawn by Ben, who has safe tiles. We'll just go west-west and just play as safely as possible, even with 2 Dora, not wanting to risk too much against an early dealer Ricci.
Yeah, so I'm curious. As dealer, do you think that's always a Ricci, or do you ever think of possibly trying to find what you got, Pinfu, or maybe even a Tanyao upgrade?
I think there's no problem with taking this Ricci. It's always a bit of a personal choice, I think. I know some players who will take this Ricci without hesitation every single time, and they'll say it's wrong to do anything else. I think there's some players who are more willing to float. In East 1, I don't see a problem with taking the Ricci here. And if someone were to Dama this, and I'd look for another floating tile and maybe break Tempai in the next couple of turns for a better upgrade, I have no problem with that either. But I'm kind of open-minded when it comes to this sort of thing. I don't think there's necessarily a right or wrong way to play that. All the 8-mon have been drawn, though, and Ben's been doing a good job to avoid this. Actually pulls into Tempai for Toy Dora 3.
I find it interesting how personally, I feel like no one's really completely folding.
Yeah, I love to see it. That it takes a lot of skill, I think, to be able to dance around an early Ricci like this and still be able to build your hand without, completely giving up. Play safe, but not completely give up. And at this point, Benjamin has all the value in the world worth fighting for, so has no reason to play safe as well.
Wrong.
And there's the 5. No
Oh,
double roll, and that will be a Mangan for Benjamin. Agent was getting super close to Tempai. And it's a bit of a surprise that that is the winning hand, although after they called the Dora, definitely the eyes were on that hand a little bit. Benjamin opens up to a very nice high pie.
that 7-man is one of the best draws you can get. Probably not Sanshoku. 5-man would cause a very ooh,
リーチ
same
Wow.
situation here.
Yeah, and this one is again Ricci +1. No fear to take this early Ricci. And this one, your other floating tile was the 5-pin. It wasn't the east, so you could make an argument to just not take the Tempai and just hold two good floating tiles, the 4 mon and the 5-pin, although there's a lot of 50-10 around the 4, but that being said, neither player willing to wait around, just want to take the early reach in and threaten the rest of the table.
So on the opposite side here, I smell a possible
Boom.
Yakuman.
Yeah, we'll see if they shove into this. I mean, that would be one way to punish an early Ricci, is just to hit them with a Yakuman.
At the very least, it doesn't really seem like they're caring too much about defense right now.
That's for sure. Ooh, that actually hurts the Yakuman chances a little bit.
It does. Like, it helps. Ooh, that's an interesting.
Boom.
That's
Yeah,
the
they're
safe draw.
going for it. They're planning to at least be Shosangen. Forget Dora. Forget Honitsu. They want the dragon. Oh, it's Tempai.
Ah, it's such a good tempai. The
Six
thing is,
seven, 6/7. No, they're
what?
still going for the dragon, but they're gonna do it in a slightly safer way. You could start with the two so first, because that's 100% safe, but
Yeah,
3 so also relatively safe given the wall of 4 sos that they can see.
just curious. If that's you, what do you drop?
Um, I'm too cowardly. I got the Haku.
That's fair.
Oh, there's the door. They just shove it out there. No fear in the Sozu. They say that's not the deal in suit.
Well, two people drew the white dragon. I think you're fully out at seeing that hand.
Will they take the Shosangen? They will accept Shosangen. Oh, and that avoids drawing the 3-mon that would deal in. So now Benjamin is drawing dead, has to rely on someone else discarding it, and Tess holding 4 deal-in tiles. Donald holding 2 of them.
This board is kind of scary.
Only Eden has tiles in the wall. Oh, and Tess is getting close to Tempai too.
There's one white dragon in the wall. I wonder who will draw it.
Oh,
It'd
it's
be a
Benjamin.
shame if the dealer dropped it, right?
Shosangen for the Mangan. No Dora, nothing, no bonuses, just Shosangen. Of course, the Yakuhai. That will be a Mangan for Eden. Okay, so what we've learned is it's wrong to take the early Ricci +1 as dealer.
I was just about to note that.
Okay, yeah, I was saying I'm open-minded. I'm no longer open-minded. The results-based analysis says don't do it.
See, this is what I love about some of the like lower divisions, because I've seen in a lot of like the lower divisions in general, people won't fold as much, and it can cause for some very fun results.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look what happens here. We're in East 3. There have been 2 Mongons. And, yeah, Eden's in the lead by 1,000 points.
Nothing happened. I didn't even notice this.
This has been such a fun
Boom.
game to watch, and it's only been 3 hands. Okay, Ben will open up with the 2 door. It makes so much sense. Actually ends up cutting the 8-9 pin block in its entirety. You could just say I've got all the blocks I need and cut the 4 pin or the 4 mon. but goes back a little bit. Says I can do better. I can draw around this 4-mon or this 4-pin, or even this floating 5. So, and it's early enough I can make the sacrifice and draws the 3-pin, so maybe rewarded.
Yeah, I've noticed there's some people who even with open hands do not like content or penchant shapes at all, and so will try to fix their hand in any means, no matter how much value they have.
Yeah, I mean Ben certainly had good floating tiles from which to uh, attach tiles onto and improve the shapes. Got there as well. Oh, Ishanten for Tess. 3-so cut here is to, just in case we draw the door, we want to be able to use it. So quite like this. We already have enough pairs that we don't need to think about the 4-4-3 shape as a good shape anymore. And also there's a Son Uncle chance.
Well, I mean, my thought was maybe a Hongich.
No, you're planning to go 4-so.
In some world, if someone has a Richie and they have like a 1 or 7 like Suji saved this, I would do that.
I will say, if you drew 2-pin, I would consider it. I would at the very least consider it.
リーチ
We're gonna see the Ricci instead. Ricci with the Son Uncle chance and Haku chance as well. Haku is in the wall. 6-pin held by Donald. In the meantime, Benjamin also tempa in the 4-7, so but all the 4s are being held to the 7s as well. So only 2 tiles in the wall for both players. It's an even race.
4 is held, so you can't con that, but the south, I think, it can be connable.
Yeah, and against an open hand, when you are Ricci, usually you con that.
On the left there, they are really not folding anything, huh?
It's hard to. I mean, you can't really cut any of these pin tiles, right? You only have the 3-pin and I guess the 6-so now. And you've got a decent value too.
チ
Healer decides to push. Interesting.
I think I've seen this a couple times from Donald. If he has a safe path to taking K10, he might shove for it.
Ooh, can he risk the white dragon?
Yeah, tough to say. That she did save Benjamin though.
Ooh, they're both okay.
Gets
Does
the
not.
7 out, yeah. And we're gonna see a chase from Eden. Oh, but there's the Haku.
Oh, 3-6.
Sadako. No, Uda, but still gets all the Ricci sticks too. And well, just like that, we have someone in the lead again. By a significant margin, it's Tess who's got the 38,000 points. 10,000 ahead of the closest competition.
Don't you hate it when you reach and the next person immediately?
Oh, I hate it. I hate it. That is one of the worst feelings in the world for me. It's really funny when I was in A2, that first season after the beta league, I ended up playing Andre a couple times, and every single time, it was so frustrating. Every time I reached, he would sumo. It's over and over and over again. And I was lucky to get exactly 30,000 point second place, like 2 games in a row, because I kept losing Ricci sticks. It was very funny in hindsight, but very frustrating in the moment. Like there's one time I know he's Tempai. I'm like, should I Ricci this? I mean, you're supposed to Ricci this, but he's Tempai. Whatever, I'll Ricci. I Ricci Tsumo's. I should. Whatever.
Boom.
Whatever. Take my points. The 3,000 points. I'm just giving them away.
ポン
It's okay. I promoted that season, so we're all good. Donald now as the North player, hoping to recoup some of the points lost to that Oyakaburi Tsumo. East only currently. And not really any way to improve the value unless he gets a con in or makes a late shift to Toy Toy, but I think it's probably a little too late to do something that aggressive. Does anyone else look like they can fight here?
Everyone like they have shapes. Like on the right, that's Ishanten, but it's a bit awkward if you don't. Yeah, that's Ishanten, but yeah, Is that Ishanten?
It is,
Let's
yeah.
check that. Well, not anymore, I guess.
Oh yeah, not anymore after the 2 came out.
Opposite side here, that's also an Ishanten, a very fun Ishanten. Ooh, that might wait. That
You could. Oh, they
ooh.
just dropped the 3 though.
How much you want to bet the dealer wants to go for Hongichi here? Chinese.
I think they really want to. Just can they? Yeah,
Don't.
four will come out. Ended up being Shitoi Shanten, and we'll deal to 1,000 points. It's only 1,000 points, so that will tie up Benjamin and Dom for 4th. I say that, you know, the huge asterisk, it's South 1, and they're at 27,000 points. And
You know, we were talking about before how possibly you've never seen a 3-person tied.
Hey, if there's a game to do, it has to be this one. I mean, from what we've seen so far, everything sort of equalizes in the end. So I guess I have that to root for. Currently, test the dealer with the East pair, and relatively fast-looking shapes might need the speed because Donald's already opening up. And 2 away from Tempai with great shapes as well, even a chance at a 5-6-7 Sanchoku. The right, Benjamin's going to be struggling with this hand. It looks like a mess, even after 3 discards. The left, a little bit better. Chidora as well.
Ooh. Dealer has 3 pairs. That's an interesting thing to ask. What's your first drop?
Yeah, you're going to be cutting one of these pairs because you have great Yamen shapes. It's just which pair do you discard?
Pong.
I don't think it makes too much of a difference. Maybe cutting the 5-pin because it looks like more people are cutting Pinzu in general.
Fair.
Also, maybe cutting it because it might make the Pinzu look cheaper in their pawn, so the 6-9 might come out a little more easily. Hard to say if it will have an effect or not.
Ooh, on the left, that is a
Eat.
Tenpai for Richinomi, but has the Itsu chance.
Yeah, it's a shame you have to give up the Dora, but I'll happily give up a Dora if that means I'm getting Itsu.
Now the question is, looking at that discard pile, can you drop a Shozu against that discard pile?
It's looking difficult. I mean, even Tess is discarding the 7-pin instead of the 2-so or the 4-so. And that means there's some danger that if a 3-so is drawn, the 4 could deal in. If you try to jam dealer Tempai against this. I also feel like it's fitting to mention that currently everyone's tied for 4th place.
Dealer, win this!
Oh, they might actually. Not willing to push the 2-so after pulling the 8.
Would you? Because personally, I think I would just do it for the sake of it after the 8-mon discard.
I mean, like you said, the 2-so super scary on this board. I'm not sure I can cut the Sozu.
That's fair.
The problem is, if you're not fighting here, it's negative EV. You're gonna lose points. The question is, how many points do you lose? Because if they Tsumo, it could be a pretty big Oyakaburi penalty.
Well,
The
I mean,
Tsuso is Suji now, so it's actually not that bad with 3-1 so cut. And yeah,
Yeah.
willing to push it now. I don't mind this. Oh, and reward it.
Tsumo.
Wow.
Easy.
Yeah, 500 all, and here we go. We've got that situation. Now, the problem is it's difficult to stay here because the dealership has to pass somehow.
And sadly, we do not have a time limit.
Yeah. So, one way that we could get the point situation to stay the same is to go to Ryukyoku with all 3 of those players Tempai.
Or none of
with
them.
none of them Tempai, yeah. And of
So
course, if the players exchange points back and forth, we could end up with the funny situation of all 4 players being tied for second, third, and fourth.
though realistically, well, I would say the opposite hand over there. That's having an Uncle of White Dragon's nice. The hand is it still needs to improve a bit, I think.
Well, there's improvement number 1. I mean, the plan here has to be Tonki, right?
I mean, I think a 3 so cheap for Dora Tanki is a perfectly nice plan.
All right, plan is set.
On the right there, it's sad that, it's sad sometimes when you get an Anko of East and it's like, well, it's not really East anymore.
Yeah, it just became the sound. I was like, oh, you're one round too late, or also one round too early. I mean, if I was dealer, I wouldn't mind.
That's fair too.
Another hand where we might see a Dora Tonki. I mean, given how greedy we've seen Ben be about this Dora in the past, I wouldn't be surprised to see him make that play in this round as well.
I'm just curious because 3 people are holding a West. It sounds like someone's gonna get the hit sooner or later.
Yeah, no one's had a reason to drop it yet, and even Tess could shift to Chitoy Dora too. Oh, yeah, you have to play for Chitoy, right? So
Yeah.
Tess isn't going to drop it. Ben has no reason to drop it yet. Donald doesn't have a reason to drop it. I think it's just gonna stay in hand, and that means it's
Ricci.
Tenpai. Wow, what a fill! So Ricci, Chitoy Dora 2 is manga minimum. Only one west in the wall though. There's the 3, so a little bit late. That's Tenpai, and 7 will be pushed. It is not even a push, it's safe. Waiting on the 4. The Gambutsu 4 so.
Wait, there's not a single red dragon? What?
Yeah, that's super suspicious to Donald now. Donald's gonna have to give up. No, it shoves it. Actually,
Ow.
6-1 was safe, so didn't need to shove that. Oh, it draws the west!
Oh
And
my gosh.
Tess is not driving live. I mean, we're going to see
Beach.
a chase. Both players waiting on the west, but the Donald also has the 4 Mon, which does have 1 in the wall.
On the left here, by the way, that is Tenpai currently for Tanyao Ipeko.
They've been just absolutely shoving everything, so I suspect they'll continue to shove.
Ooh, oh no, that'd be a Furuten. You could possibly Pong. I don't know how much Pong helps there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the 4 so looks relatively safe, and I don't think your weight's much better. You get the value of the Ipeco here as well, and just being closed, so. Trying to find Sanchoku perhaps, but it's just not there. The
Yeah.
4 so is
Oh.
had to pass one more child, but the Dama hand wins. Ipeco Tanyao collects the Ricci sticks as well. And that's an awkward number, 49. It's going to be difficult for things to even out here, but this table has always seemed to find a way, so perhaps we can get there. Nice little high pipe for Benjamin, though.
Yeah, no Dora, but I like the shapes for now. Could possibly change to maybe Tanyao. Probably just gonna be Richinomi.
You draw a Dora, that solves a lot of, answers a lot of questions. As is, you've got 3 pairs and an Onko. Yeah, Benjamin's just going to give up on the Dora acceptance. It's too inefficient to keep for now. On the right, kind of Pinfu type hand. You can fill some of these Kanchan or Penchan shapes. You can open up on the south across the way. They don't have any value, but don't necessarily need the value. It's south 2 and you're at 31,000, not that far behind first. So yeah, just willing to open up here, maybe take south Dora 1. On the left, Tess with 2 Dora and 3 pairs again. Doesn't have to be a Cheetoy this time, though.
Yeah, I'm just wondering what's the plan here with that hand? 'Cause
Honestly,
yeah.
I was gonna say it feels like you just discard until you find a plan, right?
Yeah, that's fair. Because I'm just wondering, with 2 Dora, you want to play this a bit more aggressive. I remember wondering, what's the best way? Do you just want to play close and let the game decide for you, or do you want to try to possibly, I don't know, like if he drops to 7 mon, cheap or like a bit slower, but confirmed Yakuhai of Tanyao.
Yeah, this is, you asked this question before. This is one of those situations where I'm more inclined to make a play like that
Beach.
because I have the Tudora, right? So we're going to see a Ricci and now another pair. So this is Chitoi Shanten for Tess. The Ricci on the right is for Ricci, Pinfu, Tanyao.
リーチ
Oh, and a chase
That's
from
senpai.
dealer. 4-7 pin. Nodora, Ricci Nomi.
Ooh, that's yeah.
Oh, not Chitoi anymore, that's for sure. That's just drawing all the deal-in tiles is now we have Tenpai across the table for 2 so 4 mon.
Tsumo.
A 5 mon instead will be the Tsumo for Don. Ura turns that
Nice.
into a Mongon and things have turned on their head. It's now almost first place for Donald, who takes the dealership in South 3.
A 100-point difference between second place. I mean, first place.
Yeah, this is quite interesting. Very tense situation. Ben a little bit farther back no longer has a dealership as well, so we'll need to win something slightly larger if he's going to catch up. Couple Dora again in Test's hand. Also, 3 Dora. Sorry, 2 Dora. Very similar high pie, seems like in the past 3 hands.
Just, I like the Dora too. It's just that
4 pairs.
the feeling I hate the most is when I have Dora 2 and the game's like, you're probably going Chitoi, which it's a horrible feeling.
Would you rather go Chitoi with 1 Dora or 2 Dora?
If I had to,
It almost feels like you'd rather have just 1 Dora because,
yeah,
you with 2 Dora, you feel like I should be doing anything other than Chitoi.
Home.
Something faster, since I
Yeah,
already have the
exactly.
value confirmed. But it is Chitoi
Like-
Ishanten.
it is. The thing is, how long does it averagely take to go from Chitoi Ishanten to Tenpai?
Yeah, although we did see Tess get to Tenpai very quickly the first time, so perhaps very good at reading the wall and figuring out what's live. As Eden is apparently gave up on the 4-6-8 Diancon, just apparently understanding that the 7-mon was coming ahead of time. It is Ishanten now for Hatsudora 1. That 4 pin pretty much locks off any chance of this being a normal hand, so
Yeah, I was gonna ask there. Do you keep that 4-pin and possibly change to a normal hand?
I think since the south is twice cut, it's fine to just cut the south there. But maybe a little Sakigiri, because that is near the Dora. We do have Tenpai on the right. It is the 3 so.
Beach.
Sanzo, but Don will take the Ricci. Ricci waiting on the Dora indicator 2 pin. Ricci Dora 1.
リーチ
Which this late, you don't really have any time to improve the weight, so it makes sense. But we'll get chased by Ben, who has, what, a 3-6 so?
Is that 3? Yeah, 3-6. Okay, so yeah, just Richi Pimfu, but I mean that's a good chase.
Swap of the weight on the right. So now it's the Shabo, also waiting on the Dora indicator.
One, two, three. Yeah, no, unless 2-pin comes out, which almost never comes out. Yeah, I don't think 2-pin usually comes out of that hand. So
Yeah, Tess was really trying to push. Couldn't justify the 9-mon in the moment, although now it's become a lot safer. That will instead fold out. So it's looking like this game is going to head to Ryukoku. I mean, there are a decent number of 6s, 3s and 6s in the wall. I think 1 of each. Compared to 0 for the other 2 players. So it will be the Ricci Pinfu that wins, and that means that Benjamin's on the comeback path in heading into South 4.
I'm gonna pretend I don't see that there's 4 pairs,
Home.
and as does this hand get fast? Is this hand faster as Tanya, or if you just play closed normally?
Mm, probably
地
probably normal because of the 6, 7, 7, 8 shape. All
Yeah,
these
that's
pairs are
fair.
so awkward though.
Yeah, like there's a lot of pairs here. I'm not gonna think of the Cheetoy possibility, so I'm gonna say, yeah, good luck.
Yeah, I mean the hand on the right also struggling a little bit. Getting all their tiles called, actually, it's Ben who's forcing a Honitsu to have enough value to come back. That is the Dora suit, so Chun Honitsu Dora 1 would be Bungon already. Could even take a first place.
Yep, if you can just hit a few of those unconnected monster tiles, that's a pretty good hand. At least enough to get you out of fourth, and maybe even to first, actually, in this situation.
If
Does
you,
Among Us Symbol give you first?
I think that's just short by 100 points. Because the gap is 10,100. There's no Homa. Ishanten, I think 6 so is probably normal here. Yeah.
Yeah. It theoretically keeps Chitoy alive and a normal hand.
Oh, Chitoi is very much alive.
So
And
do you
9,
Rigi this?
you can because the Sanzo is City trapped. And I don't know if Eden is a Sanzo cult member, but looks like they're willing to wait for an upgrade here.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, are you happy enough with the... Ooh.
Want a Penchon fail Ishanten across the way as well. This is getting scary. Oh, now could just be
Eat.
Richie Peiko. So we'll just see what they choose to do.
Usually four, so it's a normal drop there, yep.
Yep, this is wider.
Now here's the question: as last place, do you fold this or not?
I don't think you. I don't think you. Well, you don't have to think about it too much. You have plenty of safe tiles. 6-0 is safe. East and West come out. I think for the most part you're going to push because you've got a hand that now can take first place by Tsumo
Eat.
and by Ronan Tess. We're going to see a chase though, but that will deal
Don't.
in.
Yikes.
No
No, Rob.
Uda. That will swap places though.
Yep.
And everyone's, has to do a quick recalculation of what their goals are now. Eden, of course, just needs to keep winning hands, or hope that if the game ends, it ends with Tess giving up some points. More than
Ooh.
1,300.
Do you like that, North Pong?
It feels like Donald saying, I'm not going to be last.
Yeah, like if you're playing a ranked game, I'd say yeah, it's a nice thing to do. Just that, and here I'm wondering, is it the best? Are you happy enough with the 1,000 right now? That's my question.
Yeah, a question that Donald seems to be answering in the affirmative. I'm looking at Ben across the way as well and trying to see if there's a path to overtaking Don, but it's really tough. Still floating
That,
the Itsu, floating the Dora, floating everything that he can, but these shapes are just not good.
that's one of the hands you want something to happen. Oh,
That's something. That's something that just happened. That could be 4, 5, 600.
oh yeah. That in that case, that's pretty nice. Just drop the 9 first. Okay. I'm just wondering, is there a use keeping the red dragon in that hand? Because you're not going to open for 1,000. So what's the use of keeping the red dragon?
Maybe you can plan to Dora Tucky later. Oh, just pair it up. Yeah, we'll see how Ben approaches this. I mean, what is the gap now? It's
Eat.
oh, hold that thought. I'm gonna see a Ricci here. Oh, the 3-pin. No, it's just the 3-pin.
Personally, I'm not much of a fan of this Ricci. What about you?
It feels like there are so many opportunities to prove that to something else, but we are hitting the second row, so about the time where you want to be applying pressure, making it difficult for other people to complete the hand. The 5, 6, 7, 8 shape is very strong, but there is a chance you end up in 50-10. Although the draw that puts you 50-10 also gives you a 3-sided weight, so I don't mind that so much. I guess the 9 mon is very dead, so the 4 mon draw is less useful. It's kind of tough. I can't ever complain about this Ricci though, because it is a Ricci that will allow you to take first. We will see a chase though. Somehow Ben.
Ricci, possible Sanshoku. You really want the Sanshoku here.
I mean, look at all the value that got created there. We were just a few discards ago saying that hand is so difficult to play, and it got there, and managed to build a potential Mongol.
Now the question is, can you run off of a 7/7 so?
Ricci with exactly 10 fu. So 13 plus the stick, the 2 sticks, and the Honba. Forget that. Just
つも
Who cares?
that's a Mongol Tsumo. And is that enough to overtake?
I think with the sticks, yeah.
I think with the sticks, yes. It's just like
Yeah.
that. Ben taking 2 first places in a row. And I have to applaud the hand construction in that final shape. Even going so far as to hold that tune. We saw the reason why to hold that tune, huh?
Yeah, no. I was expecting that red dragon to be something that he should have dropped earlier, but that actually happened to be what gave him the pair.
And in the end, the Santoku ended up coming through. An incredible hand for Ben. Great play. It's no surprise now that we've gotten the chance to see him a little bit, to see why he's up at the top of the scoreboard here, plus 172. I mean, it was a really exciting game from everyone, honestly. And again, yeah, this score line is when you're getting a 25,000 place, 4th place. It feels like you just lost a couple coin flips. You didn't necessarily do anything wrong. And minus 19.5 is better than some of my 3rd places. So Donald doing okay. Eden, great showing in these couple games. Had a lot of exciting action. And for Tess, we'll take the 2nd place and continue to climb, move in the positive direction. And will be exciting to see more from this table in the future. But for the present, it looks like they are done for the evening. And so are we.
That last table there, that was really tight, gosh.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the game results. There was one more C1 game that had been going on. Might be even closer than this one. Jackson getting a plus 19 point first place. I guess it was very close. Plus 19.1 first place, and Brian with a minus 20 second place. So almost the same thing happened in that game as happened in this game. But yeah, great play from the C1 division. I'm glad we got to take a look at so many different divisions tonight.
Oh yeah, no, that was fun. Like, yep, we had all different types of dramas. 2 possible Yakumans. I'd say it was at least fun. If we got one of those Yakumans, it top it off. But still, I'm very happy with today.
Absolutely. And that being said, if anyone watching would like to have a chance to get a Yakuman at the American Reaching Mahjong League, the registration to sign up is rapidly approaching. So if you would like to register for the upcoming winter season, you have 4 days now. It's December 4th. So make sure to get your registration on the webpage, americanreachy.org. It's the first thing you'll see in the front. If you're able to commit to scheduling with 3 other players every 2 weeks. 4 games that can be played all on the same day, on a couple different days. It's a lot of fun. Of course, if you want to be sure to catch the drama that's happening at the end of this division, I mean, we didn't get to see any of those A1 games, but the results coming in means that it's going to be a really tense finish at the top of A1. If you want to see who qualifies for the final seat of the champions table at the end of the year championship, definitely make sure to be following us on Twitch, on Twitter, and be catching us at the end of session 5 and, importantly, session 6, where it will all be determined in the next couple of weeks. Thanks, David, for hopping in the commentary. Looking forward to our next broadcast. It was a lot of fun tonight, though.
Yep. Thank you for today, and yep, hopefully I can come back here for more fun games in the future too.
All right. See everybody in the next stream. I have no prediction for when that will be, but whatever it is, it's going to be a fun one. See you then.